Alright guys, welcome back to the series that no one wants to see, that's not Twitterverses, where I play a video game and talk about random drama with someone else. Today I'm with KingOfNothing, up-and-coming YouTuber.
Yo, what's up guys? How's it going?
Yeah, had to replace Willie Mac Show, of course.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got someone better.
Yeah, dude, I have beef with Willie Mac Show now. He didn't answer my Discord message once, and yeah, we have beef now.
Yeah, fuck Willie Mac Show. He didn't meet up with us at VidCon. All of us met up in LA, not for VidCon, but around the time of VidCon. And Willie didn't show up! So now I hate him, and now we have a new person here. And he's basically Willie. I mean, if you look at his channel and his videos, it's like Willie Mac Show videos, but different topics, and actually funnier and better. So, yeah.
So just superior in every way? Is that it?
Yeah, dude. Compare an iDubbbz video by KingOfNothing versus Willie Mac Show. Pretty up there in quality, but I'd say KingOfNothing's 8 out of 10. Willie is like 7.5, you know?
I give him like a 5.
Damn, dude. Have you seen Willie's content?
No, I'm just kidding. I love Willie. I mean, he's probably the closest thing to me on all of YouTube, which is pretty cool.
Which is why you're perfect for the series. You're my Willie Mac Show replacement, dude.
Damn, fuck. That's why you asked me to do this? That's actually
No, I just think our commentary would be good. Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah. Have you played Sunshine before?
I did when I was a kid, and when, so, if you guys didn't know, Bowblax and I actually met in person at VidCon, and one of the days they were out, and I played on a Switch the whole day, and I tried playing Switch, Sunshine, because I played it when I was a kid, and bro, that shit was ass, I'm not gonna lie. It was like actually horrible.
Yeah, this game, it's super nostalgic for me, but honestly, it's probably aged the worst out of any Mario game. It's like,
well, I played the
most
new
glitchy and all that.
I played the new one on your Switch. You know what I'm talking about?
Mario 3D World?
Mario 3D World. I think that was it, yeah. Where it had like a bunch of different games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it had like 2 different ones.
Yeah, yeah. I played this shit. I thought it was ass. I played it for like 5 minutes.
What games do you play? You just play like Fortnite and shit?
I play Fortnite, and that's basically it. I play some NBA 2K.
Oh, you're one of those people. You can't wait for the new NBA to come out every year, and you can't wait for the new Fortnite season, and that's all you care about.
I will say I don't care about the new Fortnite seasons. I think it's relatively the same for the most part.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same game.
Yeah, but yeah, I do enjoy the new 2Ks. That I do love. But yeah, I want to talk about this Adam22 guy, bro. This guy has some serious problems.
Yeah, he for some reason, he like mauled over with his wife for a year whether she would be allowed to fuck other dudes because she's a porn star, and he fucks other women and they're like very like porn, sex positive, like fucking all that shit, like open everything with their relationship and all that. But for some reason, he mauled over her wanting, like, fucking another guy for a job for a year, and then all of a sudden, he was just like, fuck it, she can do it, and started making, like, a big deal out of it, and started calling himself a cuck and shit.
Yeah.
Very strange.
I don't know exactly what changed, in his life to have thought that this was a good decision.
Yeah.
In any way. Like, I'm genuinely curious, like, what happened, because it is pretty similar to the iDubbbz thing, where they get married and then the female in the relationship starts, you know, although Lena was already a porn star before, you know, the marriage and the release of the OnlyFans or porn is like kind of intertwined, like they're happening around the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. So, Augie RFC, another YouTuber, had a theory about this, and I agree with it. I kind of had this theory as well, where Adam22, there was, like, kind of pedophile-esque allegations. I'm not sure about the intricate details of it.
They're real, man.
But
that guy's a pedo. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit, okay. So, confirmed by KingOfNothing, Adam22 officially a pedo. But, he basically left the internet for 3 months and then came back and was like, "Oh, guys, I'm a cuck now. There's this big thing happening where my wife is." Well, I was about to say my mom. Jeez, I'm thinking of Chris Chan, I guess. My wife is about to get like BBC'd for the first time. But he was like mauling over it with her for like a year, and even like during the interview where they had like an interview about her getting BBC'd on his channel or whatever, which I found was weird, but regardless, he talked about it and he was like, no kissing and no facial. Why would you be okay with her getting slammed BBC style, but still be like, not okay with kissing and facial? I think he doesn't want to do this, but he's only doing this so he can be seen as like a big cuck to everyone online, and everybody forgets the pedo shit. Because he's really like leaning into the cuck shit. He's responding to Elon Musk, what's wrong with being a cuck. He's like posting about it all the time, like he's trying to get his name talked about in association with this cuck shit instead of the pedo shit. So I think that's why he's doing it, and I think if he was never called out for being a pedo, he would have never let his wife do this. That's my theory.
I mean, I could see where you're coming from, but I guess the problem with what you're saying is, like, that's assuming that people, by the time where he was doing this cuck stuff, that's assuming people actually remembered. Like, bro, you know, I cover scammers every day on my channel where, you know, this person steals millions of dollars, and as long as the content quality stays the same, they're usually fine right after scamming people. Or even EDP, he got exposed as a predator like a year before the cupcake thing. So I think people forget a lot of these types of things, and I think Adam knows that. So I don't think they would have done it for that reason.
Well, I think he's doing it to help them forget even more, because yeah, they forgot a lot more, like after the 3 months. It probably went down from like, let's say, 100% at its peak, and now it's probably like down to 20%, but he could probably lower it from 20% to like 5% of people talking about it when the conversation is filled up with him being a cuck. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess, but it's also like, he must know part of the threads calling him a cuck also call him out for being a pedo. Like, have you seen the evidence that shows he's a pedo?
He has like a blog talking about fucking a kid, right? Or
yeah.
like, or like, what wasn't it that he like met a kid and then stopped talking with them, and then like they met again and got reintroduced when she was 19, and then he fucked her and like remembered that she was a kid and got off to that aspect of it or something like that?
Yeah,
or am I incorrect?
There's a lot of speculation, but he wrote like he detailed the entire thing himself.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of like a self-report, and it literally in the article he writes like, if statutory rape was a crime, like, then I'm a criminal or something like that.
Jesus, yeah. The thing about me not knowing about it is like, I know that article exists and I know it's bad, but I don't want to read it or listen to anyone else read it just because it's so kind of like gross. I don't know, like I'm not interested in listening to it, but
I agree. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's also like it's weird to hear, I guess. So I get what you're saying. It's not exciting. He's like, he details like every part of their relationship. He's like, oh, this girl Desiree, she's 16 and she's so hot. Like, he literally writes stuff
really?
like that. Yeah, like
Jesus.
But like, you know, and look, it was 20 years ago, but being a pedo wasn't acceptable 20 years ago, you know?
Yeah, maybe it was acceptable like 20,000 years ago, but not 20.
I think something that people do often is they judge things that happened in the past by the standards of today. And I'm even guilty of doing that sometimes too. But I don't think it's a fair thing to do. But in Adam's case, again, I don't think anyone would read that article and be like, oh, this is a normal person.
Yeah, true.
I think he was like 21 at the time or some shit. He went from the US to Canada to get with a 16-year-old.
Wait, but she was 16 when he fucked her, or did he fuck her when she was overage? Because I thought it was like grooming allegations. I didn't think it was like he actually fucked someone underage.
I don't know if it's one or the other, but I don't think either way that, you know, given the phrasing and the wording that's used in the article, I don't really think it matters either way. Like, I think it's so bad what he wrote to the point where either way, that's a really... Like, I wouldn't want to be friends with someone who wrote that article. Either way.
Yeah, and how old was he when he was, like, kind of pining over, like, oh, I wish I could fuck the 16-year-old, or I like that she was 16 and she's 19 now, or whatever it was.
He was either 23 or 21. Either one. I forget. So he was younger, I guess. Isn't it crazy? He looks younger. Like, he doesn't look that old.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20 years.
I don't know, like, do you think he's actually, like, an active pedophile and wants to fuck kids now, or do you just think he had, like, a little bit of a kink and he did something wrong back then, but now he's, like, not a danger?
I mean, the problem with a lot of these porn people is they get, especially I would assume the people in the industry themselves, like, they get bored of, like, regular sex, so they start to
probably,
get into, like,
yeah.
This back then he wasn't in the industry, but, you know, I think they start to get these they become more extreme sexually, regardless of how they choose to express it.
Yeah, psychologically, that's the thing. That's like what enables porn addiction, right? Where it's like you look at something, you're like, oh, this is so hot, and you keep doing it, and you're like, well, it's not as hot anymore. Let's do something even hotter. And then, like, you look up, like, some weird shit, like, I don't know, like stepsister or whatever, and then it just keeps going and going and going. So
yeah, and kind of, I would assume that same thing happens to the actual porn stars themselves.
Except probably more like extreme, and instead of watching it, they want to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially for someone like Adam, where, you know, this guy is like a quantity guy. Like, he's never been the best podcast guy. He's never been the best porn star, I would assume. He's purely quantity. He's just putting out the most podcasts, the most scenes. It's like, so it's probably worse for him than, like, the average person.
Yeah, so do you think maybe he wanted to have his wife get BBC'd because he was bored sexually, rather than this whole, like, pedo cover-up theory I'm proposing?
I mean, I think he's a sick person. Like, I think...
Yeah.
I mean, you know, to have this level of... You and I both know for a fact, he's making more than enough money with just a podcast.
Yeah, for sure. That's why, like... I'm thinking of this theory, and by the way, I don't think it, like, 100%, it's just a theory, guys.
Yeah.
Like, definitive. But, like, because the whole, like, oh, we need to make more money thing, in his position, it just doesn't make sense.
It's impossible. Impossible.
Yeah, like, he already has enough money, and there's ways to make more money in different ways, like, record, like, as you were saying, quantity over quality, just record more scenes with, like, threesomes or whatever.
Yeah.
Something that you're morally comfortable with, but he decided to... you know, take this big step for him. At least he's saying it's a big step. Maybe it's just a drum up publicity. I don't know, but
I'm having trouble with the theory, just based on the fact that Adam is smart enough to know that if he gets people talking about him in any negative way, it would bring more eyes to the pedo stuff, right? Because, like, even on when he does the cuck baiting, you know how he's been doing that thing recently where he's like. Watch Lena and I decided to get my boo something nice to celebrate her first BBC scene. He posted this.
Yeah, he got her, like, a whole ass card just because she, like, did a BBC scene.
Yeah, exactly.
He's really trying to make a big deal out of it. And drum up a lot of hype around it. Like, it's not, like, it's weird, like, this disconnect is weird to me, where he's like, oh, I was mulling over it for a year, and I don't want kissing, and I don't want, you know, facial or whatever, and then he's, like, promoting it, like, super, super heavily. It seems like a 180. Like, you would not think, based on how he's tweeting about it, that he was reluctant to do this for over a year.
I mean, the main issue here is who the fuck is buying this? It's on Twitter for free. It's on Twitter. Dude, the whole thing. The whole thing.
Well, I haven't checked. I haven't done the research.
If you just look up...
I thought it was still coming out because they were, like, hyping it up, like, 10 days until, like, I get my fucking vag blasted open or whatever.
When I looked up Adam22 to record this, it's literally the first thing that came up. The whole scene. On Twitter.
So it's not even about money.
It is. There's definitely he definitely actually made enough money off just this scene to buy that Lambo. Like, there's
probably because like a lot of people were talking about it.
Yeah, so it worked.
It's like viral.
I mean, to a certain extent, all press is good press.
Yeah.
But I think where that kind of falls apart is when there's pedophile accusations against you with undeniable evidence. Because, like, I'm sure if I go to the replies on this cuck baiting post, I'm gonna find a reply that's just showing a link to the article he wrote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like if he was doing it on purpose, he probably would have maybe tried to go for like some positive press or something, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe donate to charity instead of having his wife do some BBC.
Oh, to like distract from the pedo allegations. But the BBC thing is like such an all-encompassing discussion, right? Like, if it was just like, oh, I'm donating to charity to distract from it, like, people would make the connection easier, that like, oh, you're only doing this because he got called out before, and like, there's less to discuss. It's like, he donated to charity, okay. But like with the whole BBC thing, there's like a product to buy.
Yeah.
There's like the whole, like talking about the intricacies of it, like why is he doing this, and they could make a whole podcast discussing it. Like they couldn't make a 1-hour podcast discussing why they like donated money to like kids with cancer, you know?
That's true. Because eventually it would just get to, I just did this for good press.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts on charity for public perception?
I think it's nice to donate to charity, and I think, hey, if you get positive press for it, then like, whatever, it's just a symptom of it, you know? It's not necessarily that you're begging for it. Maybe you do want to, like, you know, donate to kids with cancer, but like, obviously the good press comes with it because you're doing a good thing. You know, that's why I think a lot of YouTubers actually donate to charity behind the scenes. I'm not sure who, but I've heard of people donating without, like, making it a big deal. But my issue is not necessarily with, like, publicizing it, but when you use it as a defense. Like, for example, with iDubbbz and the whole Creator Clash thing, him and mostly just the people around him, not really iDubbbz in particular, but, like, Aniza and Harley from Epic Mealtime, and, you know, Alana Pierce, who's fighting, and like a bunch of the other fighters on Twitter. They're using it as like a defense. Like when the whole Froggy Fresh thing was going down, they're like, don't refund your tickets because you're gonna take money away from charity and stuff. They were really like guilt tripping people with it and using it like people make constructive criticisms and then they just use charity as an automatic shield. So that's not, I don't like it being used in that way. And the whole, and the way iDubbbz did it too, with the whole like, oh, all the profits are going to charity. You're putting on an expensive event, and it costs a lot of money, and there's no guarantee you're gonna make a profit, and that's what ended up happening. He actually made a loss and no money ended up going to charity. It should have just been like, there should have just been like a donation link, I guess, for like people to crowdfund, or it should have been done in like a different way. And then people won't feel like, oh, because I'm not buying Creator Clash, I'm not supporting the charity. Like, they could have just donated directly to it and then, like, not bought the ticket, but just wanted to, like, support the charity. I don't know. There's, like, so many better ways they could have went about it. I feel like the reason he added charity to it was to look better than these other boxing matches, because when he first did Creator Clash 1 and talked about all of that, like, he really drove home that it was, like, for charity, especially with this promotion of Creator Clash 2. And he was mocking like other boxing promotions like Keemstars and like the ones Jake Paul and KSI were doing, and was trying to act like he was better than all of them, right? Meanwhile, someone like Mr. Beast, who does publicize a lot of his donations and stuff, he kind of does it, he just does his shit and moves on. He doesn't like create drama around it, like, oh, I'm better than these other events. Like, literally for promoting Creator Clash 2, he put up this chart of, like, the Austin McBroom fights and these other fights and how they don't donate to charity and how his does. And, like, there was, like, this whole chart that he made. And it's just like, are you really gonna promote your fight? Donate to charity, promote your fight for donating to charity, all that's cool. But are you really gonna promote your fight and, like, make the big push, like, hey, it's better just because we're donating to charity and other people aren't? Like,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think necessarily, even though, regardless of what your intention is, charity is obviously, a great thing, assuming that the charity is doing something good for the world.
Yeah.
But I don't think publicly putting what you're doing for charity out there into the world, I don't think that's a good, I don't think that makes you a good person automatically.
Yeah, I don't think that makes you a good person either automatically. Like, donating to charity is something anyone can do. Someone can be, like, a horrible piece of shit. Like, let's use the most extreme example, and I'm not comparing
Bill Cosby.
Obviously.
Bill Cosby.
Like, Bill Cosby or, like, Jeffrey Epstein or any of these rich people who do horrible things. They could, like, easily just toss some money over to charity and bada bing, bada boom. Good person? Not really.
I'm pretty sure Harvey Weinstein used to do a lot for charity.
Yeah. And it's great for the charities, like, I'm glad he did that, but it doesn't take away from the other things. Just like how the fact that iDubbbz is donating to charity doesn't take away from how he mismanaged, the Froggy Fresh situation or any other criticism you may have for him. And they're literally using it as a defense. Like, Anisa the other day, after this recent drama with the whole, not making a profit on Creator Clash 2, she tweeted out, imagine creating drama around charity. You must be a piece of shit for doing that. And I'm like, iDubbbz literally created drama around charity, not only when he kicked Froggy Fresh, but also when he started Creator Clash and when he promoted Creator Clash 2 by saying that he's better than these other boxing promotions because he is going to charity, creating drama and conflict between the two organizations when they didn't even have to be, related. He didn't even need to mention the other influencer boxing and how he's better than it or whatever. He could have just done his own thing. He created drama around it, and now Anisa's, because other people are covering on the drama that iDubbbz created, she's like, whoa, it's crazy that you guys are creating drama around charity. You guys are such bad people because we're donating to charity, and you're creating drama around it and reporting on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's a key distinction that needs to be made with the Creator Clash stuff that isn't really made that often, which is, there's a difference between, donating money and raising money.
Yeah.
Which, same thing.
True.
Same thing I said earlier still applies, where, I do think regardless it's a net positive on the world, but I'm not going to look at that and be like, now this guy's a good person.
Yeah, I feel like the way iDubbbz did the charity thing is in the most, non-charitable way possible, which sounds a little shitty to say because they did raise a lot of money with Creator Clash 1, and they aren't making a personal profit off of it, but, all of the donations are fan-funded. He's not donating his own penny to the charities at all, except with the 50K to the Froggy Fresh charity, but that only happened because of the drama, and that's not typical for the event. If the event went as planned, like it did with Creator Clash 1, he's not donating any money to charity. He's donating his time and stuff and everything to, make this event possible, but ultimately, it's fan-funded, and it's not even, 100% fan-funded, because the fans fund the event that he's putting on, right? And then they fund the charity. So until they break even, the fans aren't even funding for charity. They're funding his event, which makes it more capitalistic and profitable, right? Because he's not paying for the event out of his own pocket. He's getting the fans to pay for the event, and then any extra money that he makes from the fans goes to charity. So he's not actually financially, well, with this recent thing, he has been financially suffering because, he fucked up and all that. But ideally, he's not even, losing any money. He's just not making any, which is still, charitable, but it's not the most charitable, you know what I'm saying? It's still, capitalistic at its core.
I agree. I mean, I think also there's ways in which he could potentially make money off of Creator Clash that aren't directly from the event itself. So, because like we were talking about earlier, all press is good press. And, once that whole Froggy Fresh debacle happened a few months back, I think ultimately if he was still putting out good content, which he's not right now, if he was, he would have made a lot of money off of that Froggy Fresh situation, just individually, by getting people to know that he's relevant again, maybe he's still checking out. Maybe you could go check out his channel, etc. But so there's other ways to monetize certain things. Basically, monetizing attention versus just
for sure. There's like a ton of ways that iDubbbz could have made money, but he decided to focus all of his attention on doing this this thing that isn't going to make any profit.
I don't know.
It kind of ended up screwing him, I guess. I don't know.
The iDubbbz thing is weird, man. I don't even know, like... Obviously, I'm gonna have a lot to say in my next video about him, but... Like... I don't know, man. I feel bad for the dude a little bit.
Okay, but the financial decisions he made for Creator Clash 2 were not smart at all. Like, if you're going to make an event where you need to break even, and any money you make past breaking even will be going to charity, and your top priority is charity, you would want to make the event with the least amount of money required possible in order to raise the most money for charity. But
yeah, I mean, I agree, but they also were going under the premise that they were gonna make as much as they did last year.
Yeah, which is stupid. But
which was dumb because the card from the first event compared to the second is night and day.
And also, like, the novelty of it, of, like, YouTubers fighting and stuff will wear off over time, and there's a bunch of things why that's stupid, but let's assume they made the same amount of money. Even with that in mind, why would you reduce the money going to charity in order to have, like, a gala, for example, right? Like, wouldn't you still want it, even if you knew it would be, like, just as successful or more successful, wouldn't you want to minimize costs as much as possible in order to have charities profit as much as possible, if that is really the goal of the event, which is what they say. They say they really heavily promoted that it was all for charity. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I do agree.
Of.
You should want to minimize costs, assuming that it is all for charity. But I get where they messed up, where it was like, I don't know how they could have messed up the card that bad. That's the biggest problem, is the card itself. Like, people do not know who, like, you know, no offense to X, Y, and Z person, but, like, I don't know who the fuck Abelina Sabrina is. Or, like, Hundar. Again, maybe these people are famous, but if
they're not.
If I don't know these people, then I know there's a lot of other people out there that don't know these people.
I will say that over 50% of the fighters, you with your channel and your size and your views, you probably get more views per month on YouTube than they do.
Fuck.
Unironically.
Fuck.
Like,
They're
like Creator Clash promo videos have under 10K. A lot of them.
I mean, even Alex Wasabi, his video promoting Creator Clash before the event had like 50K. So it's more like, I think it's a card.
And he's the main card. Like, that should be at like 1 million or 500,000, right?
And also the main card was whack, bro. It was the same as last year, where if you know anything about the guy that Ian is boxing, you already knew he was gonna get the fuck beaten out of him.
Yeah, he keeps picking these super challenging fights, which I guess is admirable and brave,
I
guess,
think so.
But it's also, like, boring.
I don't think it's admirable at all. I think it's stupid.
That's what people would argue.
But like
I
Bowblax,
agree, but...
like, if you know what I look like, and you know what you look like, it wouldn't make sense for you to want to fight me, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I wouldn't call you stupid for that. Like, I don't think that's admirable if you were to have chosen to fight me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about that is admirable? If you know...
I guess that I have the balls to get beaten up, but, I mean...
That's not a good thing. Like, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
I don't know. That's what other people would argue. I don't necessarily subscribe to
I think it's better than taking someone who you know you would beat the crap out of, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. You would want to find, like, an even match, or maybe a match that maybe even is a little harder for you, but not by, like... a margin where it's like, oh, there's a 5% chance I'll win. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, Alex Wasabi is a great boxer. I mean, did you see the fight?
I wasn't really paying attention. I think I saw it, like, someone was, like, streaming it in Discord, but I was, like, doing something else and wasn't really paying attention.
Dude, you didn't even watch the fight? Holy shit.
Not really. I just wanted to see, like, all the other stuff that was happening for anything that I would need to cover in a YouTube video. Like, for me, the biggest, most important moment was when John Morrison said he got paid a bag to do it. That was the most important part of the event for me, so...
That's how you knew
Which, by the way, you would also minimize costs payouts to fighters if you were trying to, you know, make it maximize profit for charity. But again, he just kept overspending on like literally everything.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an issue of basically everything. You know he's gonna get beat up in the main card. The undercard is not that interesting to the average person.
Yeah.
And then they're terrible at marketing. Like nobody.
They are so bad at marketing.
Nobody would have known the event even was taking place if it weren't for Froggy Fresh. I genuinely think that 50% number would have been like, you know how they got to 50% of last year? That would have been like 20%, bro.
I think so too. I don't know if it'd be that low, but I think it'd be like 25K or 30K pay-per-views for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like there's like no marketing around it. Like I marketed it more through my videos than any of the individual fighters. I've made more Creator Clash 2 videos than any of the individual people involved. Yeah, some fighters made 0 videos on it, and that's unacceptable.
That you should be kicked off if you do that. 0.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, I mean, certain people, you know, they don't even have followings that were on the card. They don't have followings that's even worth promoting it on their platform, which is a problem in and of itself. Because it's not a professional boxing fight. Like, it's supposed to be between people that people care about or know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
I think the biggest problem is like iDubbbz over the years with like the lack of content he's been making and the lack of growth he's been having, not just because of his controversies, but even like before then, like people have just been like not watching his videos as much if you look at the views and stuff. I just don't think he knows what the audience wants to see. So he set up like a bad card, or I guess Aniza set up a bad card because I think she was taking credit for it. But you know, iDubbbz doesn't have any issues with it, so it's kind of also on him. Because he could have easily just said, hey, Aniza, we need to find more, like, relevant people. And then also the creators that they have on are, like, creators that are, like, really well-connected between each other and are kind of, like, veterans. Like, everybody knows Harley from Epic Mealtime because he used to be the top 3 YouTube channel, like, a decade ago, right? So, like, he is really well-connected with a bunch of creators, but, like, he's not really well-connected, like, with viewers right now. Like, not many people watch Epic Mealtime or anything like that. And that's kind of the same to everybody else with a lesser extent. So even they won't know, like, what the audience wants to see or how to promote it. And I think it failed because these guys are just not tapped in with their audience. Like, guarantee if all these creators started a new YouTube channel from scratch and nobody knew who they were previously, none of them would even get, like, maybe like 2 of them would get like monetized with 1,000 subs and enough views for that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, imagine
people don't know how to grow a channel.
Imagine if Ian were like, if Ian were like making the same videos he does now on a channel with 0 subs.
It would get no views. No one would care.
0 views, bro. 0.
Yeah.
Like where he's just being depressed in front of a camera.
Yeah, or even like his more like, I guess like average videos that aren't talking about drama where he's like doing the life tier list. It's not really funny or interesting what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that one was a little bit of a step up compared to like the Toy Popper videos and shit. I made it through that I hate watch that whole video to make my video, and I didn't think it was as bad as like ants on a log. That shit was garbage.
I have not seen that.
That shit
but
was
like,
garbage.
it's not about them being necessarily bad. Like, they could be fine videos people enjoy, videos people put a like on, but is it something that will pop off in the algorithm? Like, if this was uploaded to a new channel, would he gain an audience? I don't think so. I genuinely don't. Maybe he would, like, a bit, but I could not see iDubbbz with his current videos if he made it on a new channel. And, like, minus all the drama, because he wouldn't make the drama videos if he had a new channel, like, because that wouldn't exist, that'd be retcon. I don't think he'd crack 10K subs, honestly.
You don't think he could crack 10K?
With a new channel, with his new videos, minus all the drama shit, and his name is not iDubbbz and shit.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I don't think so. No. Like, if he did it now, obviously he could, because people would be like, oh, this is iDubbbz's secret channel, and sub because of that. But if he didn't have that, like, no. No way.
I agree with what you're saying. to a certain extent. I mean, I don't think if he didn't already have like the built-in reputation, I don't think he'd be anywhere even near the quality. The biggest problem, the first thing I'm gonna start out by saying in my video, is that the biggest problem with him is that he doesn't even try half as hard anymore in his new videos than he did in the past. Like, he's not even trying to make good videos.
Yeah.
Like,
and this isn't about like Content Cop or whatever, because he put a lot of effort into his like post Content Cop, post Edgy Phase era videos. Like even the Sam Hyde one, like I don't agree with everything he's saying in those videos, but that Sam Hyde video was well made. And that's when he was like in his like libtard quote unquote mode. So it's not about us wanting to see him say the N-word again. He just needs to put effort in again.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, dude, I don't think anyone wants him to like make content. I mean, maybe people do want him to make content cops, but I think the percentage of people that literally want him to just say the N-word again is like less than 1%.
I agree,
like,
fully.
Dude, I literally criticized him in my video for excessive usage of the N-word, and people still commented like, you just want him to say the N-word.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's just like the automatic defense. That's what I don't like about like the responses that iDubbbz and these other people give. Well, not iDubbbz in particular, because he's actually been doing a pretty, like an okay job trying to be transparent, but a lot of these iDubbbz defenders in particular, like his wife and like his fans and stuff, are just like, oh, it's for charity, if you attack it, you're bad, or, oh, you just want him to say the N-word again. They're like, not even like engaging with the arguments. It's insane. It's like, or like the logic behind it.
So I'm criticizing him for saying the N-word, but I also want him to say it at the same time. You know, because that totally makes sense.
They didn't watch the video, they just commented. There's no way the people who said that actually watched the video. They're like, anti-iDubbbz video? Fall of iDubbbz or whatever? Oh, I guess he just wants them to make content cops and say the N-word again. Like, what?
Yeah, no, I mean, it would be impossible for him to make a content cop in 2023. You know why?
Why?
Because they can just play this video. I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Let me get to it. Oh, the Froggy Fresh? Yeah, okay, I see it. I love how Froggy's little Twitter songs are more entertaining than anything iDubbbz uploaded in the past year. Like, he makes these in like 2 seconds. Well, I'm sure it takes like longer, maybe like 5-10 minutes or whatever on Twitter. And it's infinitely more like entertaining than Ants on a Log.
She's our girl. Bro, yeah, you're
She's
right.
everyone's girl. He's so talented with singing too, and and the lyrics don't sound like they're kind of shoehorned in, I guess, for the situation. But the lyrics actually are pretty like decently flowing for like how specific they are.
Yeah, he definitely made that shit in like 10 minutes though.
He has talent for sure.
He does. He's a good singer and a good boxer too. But
well, we haven't seen him box. I guess we won't know.
Nobody ever talks about how jacked Froggy got before his fight.
He did get so jacked, because before he was just like an average dude. He literally transformed himself and put all this time in just for this to happen.
Yeah.
Like if they kicked Froggy Fresh like maybe like a week into the announcement of Creator Clash 2 happening, and it was like months off and he barely started training, I would still be critical, but I wouldn't nearly be as like critical as I am when kicking him 3 weeks out. That's really cruel, in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, I think that's one of the most nasty things you can do to someone. I mean, just look at this.
More nasty than calling him the N-word. I bet Froggy would have preferred being called the N-word than that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't think people know how long it takes to look like the way Froggy did. Like how much effort you have to put into it.
Yeah, he was like grinding for all those months for training. He wasn't just like exercising and gradually getting up to that point. He was speedrunning to get to that point, dude.
Yeah, and then they get this guy, William Haynes. He just beats the fuck out of Chris.
Who also on Twitter recently called Froggy a Nazi. You want those type of toxic people in your fucking event? but not Froggy because he said that Sam Hyde is cool and you think he's more toxic. Like, it's just so stupid.
What do you think about Sam Hyde?
I think that he's a really good friend to a lot of people. He doesn't seem to screw over people, but he does say things that are worth criticizing for sure. But he doesn't seem like a super malicious guy. He seems like a dick sometimes, but he doesn't seem like someone who would like screw over someone. Like he seems true to his word and stuff like that. So I have a average to maybe positive view of him, but also I don't really know his full history. People said he donated to like Nazis or whatever, which is kind of bad. Well, not kind of bad, pretty bad, but
yeah, that is.
From what I've seen personally, and from what I've looked into, which to be fair isn't really a lot. I haven't really looked into him. I've just been seeing what he's been doing since kind of the iDubbbz video on him dropped, because that's when I first became aware of him, and he seems to be a better person than Ian. So there's that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think even if you don't like, even if you dislike, when I watched the iDubbbz Sam Hyde documentary, I didn't like either of them going into it, and the way I came out of it, I had to watch both of them to make my video. The way I came out of it is like, this is basically like a fucking advertisement for this guy Sam Hyde. Like, Ian looked. If you really pay attention to that documentary that Ian made, dude, this guy is like an idiot. Like, he's at one point, he has to explain irony, which is just insane.
Oh yeah, like the meta irony wheel or whatever.
He's like, oh, because I do meta irony, I cannot be criticized ever. And it's like, dude, what the fuck?
He's trying to blur the line between his real opinions and his jokes. Okay, let's say theoretically all of his jokes are his real opinions. Is he doing anything harmful with those real opinions? Like, is a Nazi dangerous if they never do anything racist?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Maybe that was a bad argument. I don't know, but like...
I get where you're coming from, but, you know, at certain times the thoughts in your head can manifest into the real world.
In like small ways too, like maybe like doing a microaggression, like looking or thinking or treating a bad black person like differently subconsciously because they're not white or whatever. But
that's the first time someone used the word microaggression in a real
in a non-ironic, but it's right? Like, you know, it's little things that wouldn't like offend anybody, but it's like kind of indications of the way they think. Maybe?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the thing is though, so I watch the documentaries and I'm like, okay, well this guy, if you compare these two people, just objectively, no bias, it's like not even close as to who's more entertaining, you know, who's more of a, who can make better content. If you compare the two documentaries, even though the quality of Ian's was way better, Sam's was more entertaining because they had that whole section on like, we made this Google Doc on how to gaslight iDubbbz. And he's like wheezing while reading it, and it's just like the funniest shit ever.
Yeah, it was so creative.
Exactly, and you know what? I don't know if I said this earlier, but I think the biggest problem with Ian is that he's anti-consumer. Like, he doesn't focus on the fans. When Sam spent that 15 grand on trolling iDubbbz, that was for the fans. Right? He was, I'm gonna rent this car so we can have a bit in the documentary about, you know, treat it like a Ferrari iDubbbz. You know, so he spent money for
and then when iDubbbz spends money, it's for himself and his fellow creators, like a gala. How does that help the fans?
Exactly. So I feel like iDubbbz, from my perspective, it seems like he's more focused on like self-interest, which is fine. You should be focused on your best interest. Yeah. But if you stay more focused on the viewers first, the money will come with that. I think the old Ian was a great example of that, where he just focused on making good videos, nothing else. And he ended up making, even though I don't like them, it's a lot of good videos. Videos that people enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that the whole Sam Hyde thing was just a big advertisement for Sam. I'm gonna go deep into my video, because I really want to set the record straight there. Like, I don't know if you know this, but like, Ian didn't initially release the documentary for like 9 months.
Yeah.
You knew that?
I know that.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I know that.
Yeah.
And it's clear to see why, because, as you said, it's an advertisement for Sam. Like, he looked bad in it after recording it. He probably scrapped it once he got home.
He did. He definitely did.
From the trip.
He definitely did. And you could see he did well at the end with, like, the post-production and the irony stuff.
Yeah.
He did okay, but I don't know, man. Yo, Rice Gum has been streaming recently.
Yeah, he has been. He did, he got a Rumble deal, right?
Yeah, Rumble deal, man. Which is, absolutely incredible, I guess. I guess better than Kick.
I guess, yeah, it's interesting seeing Rumble and Kick kind of fight for streamers. I see the relevance for Kick, I felt like was more than Rumble, but now recently I feel like Rumble and Kick are kind of in the same place in terms of relevancy. As like the good replacements. Like, there's been other replacement streaming sites like DLive and other stuff like that, but I feel like with Kick and Rumble, it's like the first time that there's like maybe genuine competition for Twitch and YouTube, YouTube streaming sites specifically, obviously, since Mixer. Remember when like Ninja got his Mixer deal and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how it turns out. Obviously, I think YouTube will always stay on top and win, but
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe they can kill Twitch. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Twitch needs to die. But I actually, I see like Pokimane getting a lot of shit for like the Kick versus Twitch take, and I don't get it. I really don't understand it, because basically her take is like gambling. Stake promotes gambling, which they do. It's owned by Stake. And she's getting shit for that take, where it's like, she says ethically, I personally wouldn't want to be on that website. And I in my opinion, I think that's a very commendable thing, because
but then a couple weeks later, she's on stream with the Kick CEO, and they're like, hey, would you be interested in something? She's like, maybe, I don't know. Wouldn't it be so crazy if I switched sides?
Okay, that's
She didn't say that.
That's horrible.
And also, she congratulated XQC on his deal privately. Or on like his own stream. I don't think it was private. I think she called into his stream and congratulated him. And then she went on that spiel about it being like bad, but she didn't directly call XQC out. She was just being passive aggressive about it, so she could like still praise him while also trying to act like she's better.
Dude, fuck.
And then also she DM'd Valkyrie after Valkyrie, one of her friends, congratulated XQC publicly. She DM'd her and said like, wow, I'm surprised you're supporting this publicly. Like scolding her.
Wow.
For congratulating someone.
Okay. Yeah, never mind. I'm never talking positive.
Don't talk to me about Pokimane, dude. I'll correct you real quick.
Yeah. I mean, I will say in general, because I know every single big streamer has the opportunity to make more money through like unethical sources.
Yeah.
Such as promoting gambling, or in Pokimane's case, like, that woman's losing like $1 million a month, probably a lot more, by not having an OnlyFans. So I think there's a certain level of morality which I think should be respected. Although in this case scenario, or at least recognized.
And I do recognize that, and I do think genuinely that Pokimane is really content where she is financially and is not money hungry, which I admire, because a lot of YouTubers, will do the scams and all that shit when they're already rich just to make more money.
Like, right.
But she is already in a great position. I think she's more socially and social influence and like power hungry. Like, she wants to like be in control of public narratives. That's why she like censors criticism and like plays victim and all that, and she wants to be like the Karen of the internet. She wants like complete kind of control over like what is said and what goes down. She's more interested in that rather than making more money.
I saw that clip of her like recently. I forget exactly what it was, but she was basically saying like, if anyone wants to legislate the internet with me, I'm your girl, hit me up.
Exactly. That was the example I was going to bring up if you didn't. Like, that clearly shows that she just wants, you know, more power and to, like, control
I don't understand how you can be
or
that
censor
dumb.
the internet.
I don't understand how you can be a grown adult and be that dumb. To think that that would be a good idea in any possible way is one of the most moronic trains of thought which I've ever heard a public figure.
I feel like she sees the internet and the world in a certain way, like envisions it like the perfect utopia, you know, like that meme of like the flying cars or whatever, and she wants to force that into reality by, you know, trying to like micromanage what people say and what people do. You know, it's why she copyright struck my video, and she stopped copyright striking after that, but she continued stuff that's like aligns with the reason she copyright struck me, but not actually copyright striking, like shaming It's a Gundam for having a sponsor after he made fun of one of her fans. He's like, this harassment and bullying, these shenanigans should not be sponsored. There should not be profit in bullying and stuff like that. And obviously
I'd be
legislation
homeless.
suggestion, like she wants censorship. She wants to control what the internet is meant to be like and what people are allowed to say. To her own preference. So that's what I think she's more interested in rather than money. Which I think is like, not maybe as bad as being money hungry, because you're not going to scam your fans with like NFTs and like financially ruin them or whatever, but it's still not like good. Like, I wouldn't want to be her friend or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I have more of a bias though to judge people more so based on their actions. Like, for example, I know Kick offered Rice Gum a pretty penny for sure. Maybe not more than Rumble, but they offered him a lot of money. And you know, I hope that at least part of his decision was that he didn't want to promote gambling to a bunch of, you know, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, younger people. I hope part of that decision was that. And I think, I personally, I'm pretty anti-Kick. I'm more anti-Kick than anti-Twitch, to be honest.
Damn. What about Rumble?
Rumble? I love Rumble. It's just a garbage site. I love the concept of Rumble. But like, for example, like when I made my H3 video, that video has like, I think 450,000 views now. And in the first week, it got like 80,000 views. And then I used to post all my videos on there. And then I checked a week later on Rumble, it had 3 views, bro. 3 views. And one of them was me. So it had 2 views. 2 fucking views on a video.
Yeah, Rumble just has like a way lower user base, and I feel like Rumble, more people are interested in it for streaming right now than videos.
Yeah, and that's.
I'm not really sure. I don't really use Rumble that
the
often,
problem
besides
is
glancing at Leafy streams occasionally. So
you're right. They are definitely focused on streams, but the problem is, if you're gonna have those, right? So what they do is they get people like you onto the site for Leafy, and then maybe you start watching some Tucker Carlson or whatever. But there has to be a way to find Tucker on the site, or else people cannot stay on. You know?
True.
If you go on like the Rumble homepage, bro, I'm not saying my video should have gotten 100,000 views on Rumble, but let me get 10. Let me get 10 views.
Yeah.
If I'm getting 100,000 on the other site, let me get 10. Come on. Like, I'm not saying anything irrational. I'm not saying 10,000 views. 10 views, bro. I can't even get that. I work on the fucking video for a week to get 3 views. Like, are you serious? Like, Get the fuck out of here, bro. It's
yeah,
just...
Rumble's not really I feel like Rumble, the only way I would go on, and I would recommend other people going on the website, is if they get like a straight up deal to go onto Rumble, like Leafy did, or Rice Scum did, or what have you. Like, I would never...
The algorithm needs to be better if they're gonna be even reasonably competitive. Again, just make it so my video gets 10 views. Be that good. I'm not saying be YouTube in a year, but they have to fix it. They have to, whatever is going on at that site, they got to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
But I like the fact that there's competition for YouTube and Rumble, for YouTube and, you know, just the social media sites in general.
Yeah, for sure, because that's what makes them improve. Like, the reason YouTube Shorts has been like so developed so quickly is because of the competition with TikTok. If TikTok didn't exist, YouTube Shorts would not be like they are today, or maybe wouldn't even exist at all. So I am, even though I'm not like a user of Rumble, I don't think I'll ever go there unless they give me a really good deal. And I don't think I'll ever like use the site really as a user besides like glancing at Leafy streams. I'm glad they exist because I want YouTube to be better, which is my preferred platform. So.
I agree, and I think it could help a lot with like a lot of the censorship issues.
Yeah.
But again, at this point though, there's no point in even. At this point, there's no point in even uploading on Rumble.
Yes.
Which is sad. That should not be the case. Especially with all this fucking money that these people have, like, dude, figure it out, man. Like,
yeah, like you're paying millions to get XQC on, but you can't even like encourage people to make videos on your platform because the algorithm's so shit. Like,
yeah, it's not
maybe
even
put
worth...
those 10 million into like software engineers or something instead. But I don't know. They might just have a buttload of money. Who knows? I doubt they're Ian Jomha levels of finance.
Well, maybe instead of like signing Mizkif, they could have put that same money into the algorithm. You know?
Yeah.
It's like small shit like that where, you know, it probably would make a big difference. What I don't understand is how they haven't just figured out, oh, this video has a decent click-through rate. Why don't we show that to a lot of people? Just that. Like, you know, it can't be that hard. Like, bro, look at this guy's thumbnail. Like, who the fuck? Oh, you can't see my screen.
No.
This is like the #1 guy on Rumble right now, featured. This thumbnail, bro.
It's not a good thumbnail. On YouTube, that would get no views.
Exactly. So it's like, who? And I'm sure people already know that guy and shit. That's why he has viewers. But
I feel like Rumble isn't a good place. It's a good place for new viewers and seeing like new content or whatever. But for like up and coming content creators, I don't think it's a good option yet at all. Like,
more for like established people.
Yeah, like people who they brought on. Like I'm going to Rumble to see Mizkif, even though that would never happen with me. Fuck that guy. But or like Leafy or Rice Scum or XQC or whoever they sign on. No one's going to Rumble to be like, oh, I wonder what new creators are on Rumble that I could find.
You can't even find them. You won't even be able to. They show you like dog videos before they show you like a decent video.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking at this site now, and dude, these people are fucked. Like, I don't know if they just don't use their own website, but this is horrible. Like, it doesn't even make sense. You see that? You see my screen?
Yeah, I don't know.
So you have like the Kai and Speed show next to the quartering, and then you have like this guy who's on episode 1200, Revenge of the Sis. Like, bro, what is this?
Well, it's just all the same, like, political content. Not like, I know Rumble primarily caters to people who don't want to be censored on YouTube or whatever, but Rumble's also got to appeal to people who aren't just, like, interested in watching political content.
Absolutely. And I think they're doing that with the streaming stuff. Like,
yeah. Like,
Rice Gum is not political at all, but, like,
nope.
Who the fuck is this guy? Like, who the fuck is this guy?
And also, these thumbnails, dude. Like, what is that thumbnail you're hovering over? That's like something a one sub YouTuber would make in like 2013. Like when custom thumbnails just came out.
And he's on the front page.
I'm pretty sure the first custom thumbnail I ever made looks better than that, and it doesn't look that good. I'll put it on screen if I remember, but yeah.
My first one is better than this, for sure.
Yeah, but the first one I made was when I was 14 in 2011 when custom thumbnails weren't a thing, and it looked better than that. Yeah, what is that, dude?
And this is a grown man. I gave him an L. That guy definitely got like banned from YouTube.
Yeah. Or he moved to Rumble because he's like, dude, these thumbnails aren't getting me any views on YouTube. I'm going to Rumble where the real growth is.
Dude, what the
Instead
fuck?
of like trying to improve his shitty thumbnails.
This one's sick. But yeah, I think Rumble in general is great. I don't like Kick at all.
Well, Kick is just Twitch copy-pasted, but with like different rules, gambling, and it's green.
Yeah, I mean, just the
kind
fact
of the
that
same as Twitch.
Just the fact that they straight up copied Twitch, I find that to be repulsive.
I guess, but it's also Twitch's fault because like the fact that a site that's an exact copy of Twitch but with different rules can do so well proves how fucking fucked the Twitch rules are to begin with.
Yeah, like, they brought it upon themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
But
if Twitch didn't have all these problems, no one would be going to Kick.
But it's like basically the exact same site, like, bro.
Yeah.
This shit is crazy. You see this?
Yeah, literally the same. I think it's the same interface. I think they use like Amazon, like video services or whatever.
No, they had a leak in 2021 with the code of the website.
Oh, so they just copied that?
Yeah,
Amazon. I thought they were like paying out Amazon to like use it.
I'm pretty sure Amazon Web Services is like. That's like.
Is that like something different that they're paying out for, like just for like hosting or something like that, not for the actual website interface?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure this is how Amazon makes like a lot of their money, is from the AWS. So they do that for like basically all the big sites.
Yeah. Pokimane was saying some dumb shit like, oh, Twitch benefits from Kick because Amazon owns Twitch and Amazon's benefiting from Kick. But honestly, I think Amazon should close Twitch and buy Kick at this point. Like, I think, or just close Twitch. Yeah, does Twitch even make a profit for Amazon?
Definitely. They might lie and say it doesn't, but definitely. I mean, bro, these people are like... I mean, you've been on the site. They put an ad like every 2 minutes.
Yeah, and they also take like 50-50 from everybody now.
Dude, no way.
Like, they really shouldn't be making money off Twitch, but there's suckers like Pokimane who stay on the platform, and because of that, they're just making money off, like, suckers who just, don't care about the 50-50 split, I guess. Well, I guess Pokimane wouldn't be a sucker because she's already a millionaire, but...
It might not be like they don't care, but it's like that's where their community already is, and they might lose a large percentage of those people.
Yeah, true.
So they're kind of like stuck. I don't think... Like, for me, that would be a decision that I very heavily weighed before I made the decision to, like, move to Rumble.
Yeah, but with these people, like... They're not just, like, making the decision to switch, like, with the big Twitch streamers. They're probably making a decision between, like, a multi-million-dollar contract in their hands versus, you know, what they would make on Twitch. I really do think... Like, as you said, Pokimane... Well, no, you said that about OnlyFans. Like, Pokimane's sacrificing money by not doing an OnlyFans. But I also think she's losing money by not taking one of these multi-million-dollar deals that are probably being offered to her.
Yeah, and I meant that as well, too. Yeah, and I do think that's something to be respected. I think because it is a.
I suppose.
If I'm gonna criticize people for making what I consider to be immoral decisions, I think it makes sense to give people credit where credit is due, and I think.
Yeah, true. But yeah, it's just different for me because I don't think going to Kick is immoral.
But how could it not be if the point of the website is to essentially get people, the customers, addicted to gambling? then it's inherently immoral.
That's one aspect of the website. It's not the whole website. And is XQC being paid to gamble on the website, or is he just being paid to stream on the website?
No, it's both.
Oh, okay. Well, let's say theoretically someone... Okay, if
well,
someone
let me
took
tell you this. What RiceGum said is the reason he went with Rumble over Kick. What he said, he's also a liar, but what he said is they wanted him to gamble on stream.
Okay.
So, XQC and Aiden, they definitely gamble on stream, like,
They already do, though, so it's like, is it more immoral to go to Kick if you're already doing it?
No, you belong in prison either way.
Jeez.
Yeah, I hate that shit, man. I don't think anyone who like defends gambling, I don't think they've seen the consequences of gambling with their own eyes. Like, I think it's become normalized over the last few years, but it's really a horrible thing. Like, once you see, luckily I never had any issues with it or in my family, but like I've seen what it does to other people's families. And bro, it's fucking disgusting. It's one of the worst things in the entire world. I don't want to get into like too much detail, but there was a kid I knew growing up, and you know his dad was addicted to gambling, and it was like it almost ruined their family. And this is like a family with like
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, because the main problem is that the gambling people are really good at getting you addicted. You know, like they're professionals. So, if you could just walk in and gamble once, that's nothing. That really doesn't mean anything. You know, you'll be fine, regardless of how much you spend. But where they make the money is getting you addicted every day, gambling.
Yeah. I guess the core of that argument is like, obviously gambling addiction is bad, but how realistic is like the Kick stream to gambling pipeline? Like, what are the obstacles behind it and stuff like that? Like, you say get kids addicted to gambling, but can kids accurately access this website, like get money? Like, of course some could, but like, is it really easy for them to do? I think that like
well, the problem is a lot of them promote these gambling sites, like for just as an example, like Rollbit, for example, where they have no KYC in place. Do you know what KYC is?
No.
It's called like know your customer. So they don't make you, because it's like a crypto casino that gets set up in like some random country with like a 500 population. It's called Curacao. That's where a lot of the gambling companies, they set them up in this country called Curacao or something, and they basically never have to be regulated in any way. So they could just get a bunch of 12-year-olds who stole their mom's credit card on the site, and they don't have to ask for a picture of an ID, and that's where it gets really tricky. Where
of course.
Versus like,
I didn't know that.
But if you do like DraftKings, if I want to gamble on DraftKings, because it's regulated in the U.S., they make me upload a photo of my ID.
Well, what about Stake? Because Stake is the Kick one, right?
Stake, they don't make you upload a picture of your ID, I'm pretty sure. Does Stake have KYC? I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's for a payout, but not to gamble. But they changed this recently. Back in like 2021 and shit, they were not doing that.
Well, I guess they're like improving. I still think, regardless, even with like the identification in mind, like gambling streams probably not the best thing to do ethically. I wouldn't say it's like the worst thing, because you don't guarantee that they get addicted to gambling, but you're like, you know, adding an extra step towards that direction, which is not cool. And also, like, watching gambling is not even entertaining, besides like, you know, getting addicted to it and the dopamine you get from like gambling addiction vicariously through these other people. Like, they're just like, realistically, it's not real entertainment. It's just like fucking watching slots move, you know? The entertainment comes from the money. If there's no money involved, no one would care, right? So it's not really entertaining. So it's not good content either. But when it comes to Kick and like the morals of moving over there, the gambling stuff, it's a complicated conversation, and I don't really know the answer. And maybe your stance is like right, where it's like completely immoral if they engage in gambling or whatever. But what if you like move to Kick and you don't gamble? Like, do you still think that's immoral because the site has other gambling streamers?
Well, the problem is the site, without the gambling aspect to it, the site wouldn't be able to exist because they're on they have that 95-5 split where no reasonable, even a consumer would say like, all right, maybe 85-15 is more fair. Like even if you're not a streamer, you'd be like, that seems excessive. Because Twitch
so you're saying if you just by simply being on Kick, you're benefiting from the monetary benefits you get from the immoral
being associated with gambling.
Of gambling.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not an argument I expected you to bring up, but that's actually a good one. So I guess they're like kind of benefiting from gambling even if they're not participating in it.
The intention of the website, I'm on here right now, the CEO of this website literally wants me to ruin my life and get addicted to gambling.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he wants. At the core of it. And that's so bad. That's so bad. Like, I just feel like you can make money off of entertaining people by doing GTA RP, that's the second most viewed on here. Why not? I'm sure I'd have a decent time watching that shit. But why do I need this gambling in here?
Yeah, but the thing with streamers going to Kick to not gamble and just be on Kick, like obviously they are benefiting vicariously like through gambling because of the split or whatever. But that's also the case with every other website. Like Twitch users are benefiting from any bad things Jeff Bezos does, like force Amazon workers to pee in fucking cups or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And YouTube's connected to Google, and everything's connected to everything, so no matter what platform you're on, you are going to be benefiting from some immoral shit if you go up and up and up and up
I agree with that
pipeline.
But at the core of it though, Amazon is like I'm not defending Jeff Bezos, but factually Amazon is like top 3 employers in the US, I think. And then also Amazon, from me and your perspective, they make our lives better as a consumer. Versus gambling, it's like it has no actual value.
But the value is that we get to watch like a streamer we like do some other shit on Kick that isn't gambling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like,
but at the core of the two, there's a big difference where like you have this business that like helps millions of people every day. Although they hurt people too, from the consumer's perspective, it does help people. Versus Kick, where their goal is not to help people, it's actually the opposite.
Well, the goal is to make money. Even with Amazon, they're not doing it through gambling, but the goal is just to, make more money.
Yeah, but Jeff Bezos' goal is accomplished by helping you and me. By giving us quick shipping and good products at a good price, and then getting us to come back. And that's how he makes his money.
Yeah.
Versus Steak is like, we want you to get on fucking Steak and give us all your money. And we don't, I don't think Jeff Bezos is out here destroying individual families one by one. That's the core.
But I don't think like using a platform that has a sketchy background is necessarily like immoral though.
I agree. I don't think I don't think if I go watch one Aiden Ross stream, I'm a bad person, right? I think Aiden Ross is the bad person because he makes money off of getting kids addicted to gambling.
Yeah. I guess, but also like with Twitch, so the argument is that like, let's say theoretically I got a deal to go to Kick, but it was completely ungambling related. You'd say it's immoral because I'm bringing my viewers to Kick, and then they could be watching gambling streams and then getting addicted to gambling. But there's other bad stuff on Twitch that could happen if I brought my viewers to Twitch, right? Like they could go to the hot tub section and then get addicted to porn through Amaranth as a gateway, like, and porn addiction is pretty bad.
But that would be a bigger problem if Twitch were owned by Pornhub. That's more of like, so on Stake,
but it's still the same result, like, people are getting addicted to porn.
But again, their goal isn't to get you addicted to porn. Their goal is like, I'm gonna show you this girl with tits for you to click on it, and then maybe she can entertain you for 2 or 3 hours. Versus Stake is like, our goal is to get you onto this website, and it's a funnel onto our gambling site.
Oh, yeah. That makes more sense, because, like, yeah, the kid could get addicted to, like, porn or whatever, but it would be benefiting Amaranth. It's not like Amazon is specifically pushing it. They're not dissuading it either, which is probably immoral.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, this doesn't affect our business badly, so fuck it, they can get addicted to porn. But they're not, like, being like, we gotta get the most people addicted to porn as possible.
Yeah,
it's just like a side thing. Okay.
And you gotta keep in mind, I don't think Kick... I would assume Kick is gonna ramp up the promotion of the gambling in the near future. Because right now, if you look at it, it doesn't seem like a gambling-owned site, but I would assume they're not making money off Kick right now. Or maybe they are, because of their profit margins are probably significantly higher because of the Stake pipeline than Twitch per customer, you know? And I think that's kind of like the core issue.
Dude, I died in the game just like how I died in this debate. It's not often where I, like, argue with someone. Well, not argue, it's more of a discussion. And then, like, change my opinion. Like, you've kind of changed my opinion a little bit. I would be interested to hear you discuss this with, like, more people who maybe had kind of my view at the beginning of this recording. I mean, you gotta get Willie in here, dude. We gotta get the... Well, I don't know what Willie thinks about Kick, but I don't know.
I've talked to Willie a lot, and I think we kind of agree on, like, most subjects. I know we had one debate, but I'm kind of forgetting what it is, and he killed me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it might have been the N-word? I don't know.
No, that was Turkey Tom. You were literally, like, mauling and coping. Because I joined the stream after the debate, and you were like, oh, I can't believe I lost the N-word debate, and then you explained it to me, and I didn't know whose side was whose, and I took Tom's side, and you're like, dude, I lost again! I'm like, I didn't mean to pile on again. He's like, now it's a 3v1. I'm like, fuck, dude.
This guy, like, randomly joined the stream, and he was like, came in with, like, prepared questions about, like, the N-word.
Just like, I didn't come with prepared. I never, like, come prepared. I just say.
No. This other guy. This other guy.
Oh, really?
Before you,
Who?
yeah.
Who was it?
His name was like Sleepy or something.
Oh, it was like a caller or something.
I think it was one of Tom's friends. But yeah, he had like questions that he like prepared and shit. It was just like so bizarre to me. Like I never thought, from my 23 years of experience in this world, I've never met someone who would like defend using the N-word like
in a professional like essay style setting. Like okay.
Well, no, this was a live stream, but yeah, I mean, I just never thought.
Like getting the points down and like having a proper N-word debate, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's never been. Even like, you remember Hassan and Destiny used to debate the N-word back in the day?
Yeah.
Those were like some of the most cancerous conversations I've ever had to sit through, even for like 2 minutes.
And then you engaged in it, dude. You're hypocritical.
Bro, fuck you.
But you said Cheaply did it? Or whatever? Sleepy. Or like, was it CH?
Sleepy. CH.
Sleepy. So, he's the guy who helped make the Tipster diss track that Tom dropped yesterday.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
I like that guy just because of that, dude.
He seems like a nice guy. But I will say, I mean, just to finalize, if anyone did see that debate, the biggest problem with iDubbbz excessively using the N-word in 2016-17 was the fact that there was 3 grown men defending usage of the N-word 7 years later because of what he was saying 7 years ago. Does that make sense?
Oh.
That's the biggest problem with it. And I should have said that on the stream, but I didn't. But I can't believe, like I said, I'm shocked still, a week later, that there was people unironically defending using the N-word. It's just bizarre to me.
Yeah, well, for me, my answer, and I don't know what they were saying because I wasn't listening to, like, the debate, but my answer is, like, because the question was, like, is it bad that iDub said the N-word in his videos? My answer is yes, but I don't think it's that bad. Like, I just think it's like, probably something you shouldn't do, but if he does do it, not really the biggest deal in the world, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, like, my opinion on it.
I agree with you there. I mean,
I don't know what.
I don't think he's a criminal for saying it. You know, I just think it's bad because he knew there was a lot of kids watching those videos, and those 3 guys I was talking to were proof that those arguments he was making 7 years ago, which I can't disprove. It's either all okay or none of it is. You know, I'm more on that side than not, but. The problem with him doing it is that it did actually indoctrinate a lot of people into that way of thinking.
Yeah, it did. And people try to deny it, but I think it's like, I think it's true, but also I think it happened so long ago that, like, I don't think the indoctrination sticked over, like, 7 years. Like, if you indoctrinate some teenagers into thinking it's okay to say the N-word, in their, like, 20s, are they still gonna, like, be like, okay, N-word, N-word, N-word? No, they usually have, like, a real-life experience that changes their mind on it.
Yeah, but those 3 guys...
7 years.
Tom, Cheeto, and Sleepy...
Yeah, but they're YouTubers, so their environment has always been around iDubbbz. So, like, with the other people who watch iDubbbz, they just watch them once, and they're like, oh, this is an interesting thing, and I'm a teenager, and it makes sense, so N-word, 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 and then they, like, something happens in their lives where they change their mind. Whereas, like, Cheeto and Tom and stuff, no offense, but their lives are just consistently on YouTube, so it's just like...
Yeah, it's different.
It's different. They're less likely to have that moment where it's like, okay, well... And even then, I do think they did have that moment, because it's like, does Tom say the N-word all the time? Not really, like...
I mean, just to even engage in a debate where it's like, oh no, him saying it in front of hundreds of thousands of kids was okay, I think says a lot more than one would.
Or are they saying it wasn't that big of a deal, or are they saying it was, like, good, like he needs to say it more, or were they saying it's
They weren't saying he needs to say it at all. I've still never came across anyone who has ever said iDubbbz needs to say the N-word.
You should go onto Cozy TV. That's a streaming platform where they would argue for that.
Does Nick say that?
Nick Fuentes?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but I know there'd definitely be streamers on that website that are like, saying the N-word's good. I'm glad everyone should be able to say it, and people should say it more.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just the most alt-right streaming platform I could think of in the moment.
Rumble?
I think Cozy's way more alt-right than Rumble.
I didn't know other people streamed on Cozy. I thought it was just Nick.
No, it's other people, like Ethan Ralph does, and stuff like that.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I guess it's good to hear the perspective of others. And that was yeah, like I said, that was genuinely shocking to me. That
the white 20-year-old YouTuber who grew up with iDubbbz perspective.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess because it's never been something I discussed with other people, because it was like such a universally normal thing to not say the N-word. Like even
you know how the minority opinion. It's good to listen to minorities, like YouTubers in their 20s. I mean, it is a minority. Like, how many people are YouTubers and in their 20s and successful and white? Not many in the world.
What do you think about it's either all okay or none of it is?
I think it depends on the context. I think just look at every situation individually and be like, if I'm saying the N-word here, is it harmful or is it not? And all of it's okay or none of it's okay, I feel like there's some merit to it, but it's also kind of just like a distraction. Like, just use your personal discretion in a personal scenario. Like, I think saying the N-word in some scenarios are okay, and some scenarios it isn't. Like, I wouldn't, like, if I'm meeting someone, if I'm, like, in public or in any, like, setting where I'm just supposed to be, like, a normal person, I'm not gonna casually, like, drop the N-word like it's no big deal in my sentences or whatever. But, you know, if I'm in, like, maybe, like, a private Discord group chat with, like, three of my buddies and I'm making like an edgy joke and they all know I'm not racist or whatever and it doesn't offend anyone, I think in that enclosed environment is fine because it's just a word. It's about the meaning and intention behind the word rather than the word itself. And it just so happens that the N-word frequently, most of the time, has a bad connotation because of the history behind it and how people use it against black people and stuff like that. And that's why the N-word is bad, not because it's literally the letters N-I-G-G-E-R, right?
Yeah.
So I think we got to be more nuanced and just use common sense and just think about the individual scenarios instead of trying to group a word into all of it's okay or none of it's okay. It's just very like blunt, black and white, and not conducive to like mature thinking, in my opinion.
I mean, I guess, but I don't think that was his point with it's either all okay. I think maybe I'm wrong, but it, well, no, okay. His point was something different than what I'm gonna say, but I think the biggest problem with it's either all okay or none of it is that when you start to censor or say this word is explicitly off limits, you start to get other words that also begin to get censored, and eventually that gets to a point where the censoring is irrational, right? I think most people can agree that the N-word thing it's pretty rational to expect people to not say that, right? Would you agree with that? You know, and I think most people that aren't racist or anything or like edgelords are totally fine with not saying it because of the history behind it.
Yes.
But then we're 5, 6, 7 years later, and you have you can't say the F slur, you can't say the R word, and those were literally words that I was using when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
So, that does not make sense. Like you were saying earlier, the context of and how you're saying these things is important. If I'm calling someone an F word ending in a T,
yeah,
when I'm 7, that is not homophobic because I didn't know what a gay person was. It would have been impossible for me to be homophobic. It's just, I'm going to use this word to try and insult this person. And that's the case in how most people use that word, not homophobia. So I think that's kind of where the problem lies, where if you do censor one word and you say, this one's off limits, a few years later, people are going to come to you and say, oh, this one's also off limits. This one's also off limits.
Oh, so like the slippery slope, like not saying the N-word's okay, but if we start barring it, then other words are going to be...
Yeah, well, it's the fact that they will is the problem, right? Given the history in which we've seen take place in this world, that's what will happen. So that's kind of the only valid reasoning behind defending usage of the N-word would be that.
Yeah, but that's going to happen regardless. Like, one iDubbbz video is not going to stop people from... or society from evolving and saying certain words are bad or not. Like, that's just like society changing, and it happens like all the time. Maybe not specifically with words, but society like changes and updates all the time, and like
I agree, but
it's an inevitability.
Don't you think those two words I'm bringing up now, don't you think those are a little irrational?
F slur less so, R slur yeah, but it really depends, like how frequently they are used to diminish the certain people they're targeting. Like for me, the word retard, right? I don't feel, as a disabled person myself, I don't feel like that word is frequently. It is used to like diminish me specifically for my disability, but generally most people use that word in a way to just call someone stupid, like you're being retarded.
But also though,
whereas the N word, it's usually only used to be like "fuck you, black person, you're dirty" or whatever. And with the F slur, I feel like it's more like Jalen. And with the F slur, it's a little odd for me. I don't know really fully where I stand with it because I know it's used in the same word retard is used in the same way retard is used a lot. But also, I feel like it's used kind of frequently to trash on gay people, way more so than retard is used to trash on disabled people.
Well, there's probably also more gay people than disabled people.
Yeah, because it's easier to tell if you're gay than disabled. Like, if you're gay, you can just kind of feel it and figure it out on your own. Whereas if you're mentally disabled, you gotta get, like, a diagnosis and everything like that. And it's easier to detect. So I don't think necessarily there is more gay people than mentally disabled people. I just think it's, like, more people know that they're gay than mentally disabled.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, the F slur is kind of like in between the N word and the R word, where it's like.
From my perspective, though,
yeah.
sorry to cut you off, but from my perspective, I don't even think people that use those two words often have like an exact definition they're using the word for. It's more so kind of like than it is an actual insult or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like people use the word autistic to
like,
say a bunch of different things and.
Yeah, but like on the trip,
But,
I'm sure I called Tom an F word once.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not thinking of like any specific example, but like I know for a fact if that example did exist, I wasn't being homophobic when I said
Yeah, you weren't thinking of gay people when you said that.
Yeah, exactly. So it had nothing to do with the literal definition of the word. And I think that's where it gets tricky, because like I said, bro, when I was first saying that word, I did not know what a gay person was. So
True. So I guess the F slur would fall more under the category of the R word.
But again,
like,
if you're saying it in the way that is homophobic, that's completely different.
Yeah, obviously that's bad, but like, yeah, I don't know.
It's hard, man. Words are hard. I don't know. Personally, I'm not a fan of. I think the more control individuals have over their own decisions, I think the better off everyone will be. But I don't know. You live in Canada, so I don't know how you feel about that.
What do you mean control over their own decisions? Does Canada lack control?
I mean, I think like in general though. I mean like not censoring any sort of speech or anything like that. By law.
Well, the thing with hate speech laws in Canada is I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong, and maybe if you say something in public randomly, you'll get like fucked. But I think it's only in like a business setting. Like if you're like employing someone, you can't misgender them if they have a preferred pronoun or something like that. It's just like in the workplace specifically, or in like legal business settings. I think you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Well,
like,
the way I look at it is like I don't even want to have to think about that. You know, where it's like I can get I don't even want there to be a 1% chance that the government can arrest me for saying words strung together. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a really I think the effects of that could be atrocious.
If someone yells at you in public in the U.S. like, "I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna murder you! Fuck you!" and like starts like trying to run up to you and shit.
Well, those are
like,
threats.
That's still that's still a string of words. The threats. It's still
like you know, a guy being like transphobic in a private business meeting is completely different from threatening to kill someone. I think. You know, like, because in one case...
Yeah, but it still shouldn't be, like, allowed or tolerated or encouraged. Like, it's, so easy not to do, too. It's like no one would ever want to do that, so the fact that it's, like, there's, like, a law against it, like...
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, though, is, like, the less involvement... I want the government to only be involved in my life when it's a necessity. You know, like...
the government is involved in every business thing. Like, you have to register a business officially with the government and everything like that. So if you're, like, in that setting, like in that work business setting, you're already beholden to the government regardless of where you live, even America. So...
No, but, like, those things are good because there's like, licenses and regulations, and like we were talking about earlier, regulation
like
in certain things can be good. Like gambling, yeah. If you compare DraftKings to Stake, I would bet money. I don't use either of these two sites, but I would bet money DraftKings is 100 times more ethical than Stake, for example. Because, for example, Stake could hypothetically mess with their slots algorithms to get you more addicted than a physical slots machine when there's the risk of like getting arrested or something. So I think the less control that the government has is better because eventually they're gonna overstep their boundaries. Given the way that history has written itself.
Well, here's the thing with like these laws that you're talking about. It's illegal to sexually harass women in the workplace in the U.S., right? Like I know Riot Games had a huge lawsuit that they lost because they were harassing women in the workplace and there was a bad workplace environment. So if you're going to like go out of your way to misgender trans people and be transphobic in your business when you have trans employees and stuff, wouldn't that also be something that there should be laws against? So, you know, they can work in an environment at an equal level to everybody else?
Well, that's more of like a civil case, I think. Based on what you described, it's like two people suing each other, right? Versus like the government getting involved. Because yeah, I mean it's hate speech is hard because who is the one deciding what the definition of hate speech is? And then who is the one deciding whether or not something is hate speech?
Well, at the end of the day, it's to the law and the government. Like, even if it's a civil case, it goes to court and stuff,
the problem with
by the government, like...
Yeah, so, like, for example, in my case, I had YouTube take down one of my videos for hate speech, which was a video speaking out against Kyrie Irving when he posted an anti-Semitic movie onto his Twitter.
Yeah.
That video got taken down for hate speech. That makes no sense. And obviously YouTube isn't the government, but when you have these big institutions involved in situations which, you know, frankly, often have a lot of nuance, like my case scenario where I'm calling the guy out for being anti-Semitic, yet having my video being taken down for being anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but YouTube is run by a lot of automations and bots and stuff, and if you're gonna have a specific case of hate speech in Canada, that's, like, people are gonna get involved, like, that's gonna go through, like, a bunch of checks and balances and stuff, and they will eventually get to what legally is the truth in that scenario. Like, if we took your video to court with, like, hate speech or whatever, they would rule 100% in your favor because the bot was just being retarded.
Yeah, and they
but
did.
That's
they
not
did.
What it's like in
they did
the
end up fixing it eventually, but I just brought that up as like an example because it shows, like, you know, and we all know this, that a lot of the times when you give these sort of institutions all the power in the world, they tend to abuse it. Not immediately, but eventually. And that's kind of more of the problem that I'm referring to. It's not necessarily that the one hate speech law may or may not be a good thing, but it's what does it lead to 20, 30
slippery
years.
slope, yeah. But then I would say, like, criticize the bad law that it leads to when that gets proposed, rather than, like, shit on a good law because it could lead to something bad. So, like, I don't have an issue with any like, the free speech laws in Canada.
The problem is, though, it doesn't work that way, because by the time you're at the point where you're, let's just say hypothetically, by the time you're at the point where you're censoring the N-word, you're at a point where 3, 4, 5 years later, the R slur and the F slur are already going to be taken away, no matter what the public perception is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, or it's one of those things where it's like, it's almost like too far gone, in the wrong direction. Maybe.
Is it really necessary to say those words in a business setting? Like, because all these laws for Canada is in a business setting. If it was like, I go outside and I can't say retard and I can't say the N-word and, like, I would never do this, but, like, I can't even, like, be bigoted in public and misgender a trans person in public, then I would see, like, I guess, issues with that law. Not that I advocate for that, but you know, that could, like, I understand the slippery slope argument there, because then it's like, you're banning other words and stuff like that. But in a business setting, like, you're not even talking like you normally would in a business setting to begin with, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, typically.
Yeah, I agree.
Depends the business, but yeah.
I mean, I think the general thing is, like, just don't do that. You know, so, like,
yeah.
20 years ago, or 15 years ago, people in general didn't say the N-word, but it wasn't illegal. I think that's the...
Yeah, I don't think it's illegal.
It's not. But, my concern is that more so in the future, it might. Because
my argument is that in a business setting, it's not a concern for me. Because you're already talking so proper and professional in that setting anyways that you would never even want to say
but that's how it starts. It starts with, oh, it's just in a business setting. And then 10 years down the line, it's like, oh, in a restaurant. Then 20 years...
Well, if it moves out of a business setting, that's when I'm gonna, like, agree with everybody who says, like, oh, Canada's not free speech or whatever.
Well, that's what will... The problem is that's what will happen. Because, like I said...
When that happens, I will say Canada's not free speech, but currently, Canada is free speech, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it needs to be more pushback against these sort of decisions. Because...
I mean, there is a little bit, but...
That's why Jordan Peterson got
yeah, that's why Jordan Peterson got big, because of Bill C-16.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he spoke out against. Which, dude, you pointed this out in the H3 video, and it's like one of the most, like... It's one of the best points against Ethan, and I don't think it's brought up enough. It was brought up in your video. But, like, he says, he, like, removed all the Jordan Peterson podcasts because, like, oh, now he's transphobic, and now, you know, I don't like him, and I'm realizing how bad he was, and I wasn't aware of that. No, you knew exactly why he got big. He literally got big off of talking, speaking out against a pro-trans bill in Canada, and now you're acting like it's a huge surprise that he's transphobic in these other aspects. Like, that's why he got big. Like, what?
Yeah, and I don't know if you caught it, but he actually introduced him as, like, one of the people on one of the podcasts, as one of the people opposing Bill C-16.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I mean, Ethan is an interesting guy, I'll say that. It's almost like he's trying to be a hypocrite on purpose at this point.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't get him. You know, I try to give him benefit of the doubt sometimes, because I do think he's, like, entertaining in some ways, and he does have, like, value as a creator.
I don't think he offers anything to the marketplace that, like, I don't think he's that funny. I don't think he's obviously horrible at left-wing politics.
Well, he's capable of being funny. His old videos were good.
Yeah, but that was such a different setting. Like, he's clearly not... Like, this is a guy who was 35 and had never met a black person. Like, this is a ridiculous human being. You know, like, this guy... I'm gonna say this for the record. H3 is fucking racist. Okay? H3 is fucking racist. And more people need to call him out for this. 35 years old, never met a black person, never has any black people on his show. Yet, we have all these people in my comment section mauling about how Fresh and Fit are racist because they made jokes that were racist, but still, Ethan is literally racist. Literally racist. He never has black people on. He admits when he was 35 he never met a black person. But yeah, that dude is racist as fuck.
I definitely think he was racist in 2019 because of that comment and joke that he made about the black person. Not specifically the joke, but the way he made it. Where he's like, oh, but if they're big and scary because they're black, it's like, how is it, that isn't funny because it doesn't make sense, and he must think it makes sense because he thinks it's a funny joke to say. Therefore, if he thinks that makes sense, that means he's racist. Currently, I'm not comfortable calling him racist because I don't fucking know what's in his head, but he was definitely racist in 2019, 100%.
But I don't think a truly racist person, like Ethan showed in that clip, just stops being racist. I think they stop publicly allowing themselves to get caught being racist. But, bro, you're telling me a guy who never met a black person till he was like 40 years old is just gonna turn around and stop being racist one day? Like, is that
No,
really...
I'm just being charitable. Honestly, the likelihood that he's still racist is really high, and if you were to put a gun to my head and say, is Ethan Klein still racist, I would say yes. But there is a possibility that he could not be racist anymore, because the last time, to my knowledge, that he, like, kind of outed himself as being racist was in 2019. So I just, like, for, like, I guess optics sake or, like, charitability's sake, I'm not gonna call him definitively racist now. But even calling him racist in 2019, like, that kind of implies that he would probably still be racist today. So I don't feel like I'm, like, hiding my true opinion by saying that. I'm just saying, like, genuinely, I don't know. Maybe he could have had, like, a come-to-Jesus moment and realized that, like, black people aren't different from white people besides the color of their skin, but
the problem, you're right about that.
Likelihood is low, I think.
But he could, like, he still barely has any black people on his show. Like,
that might be coincidence, though, because he does have black people on. He had Gideon on. He's had other people on. Like, I don't think he, like, actively avoids black creators. I just think, like, a lot of the creators he happens to want to talk to aren't black. Like, I haven't had any, have I had a black person on this? Well, I don't really invite guests on.
Yeah, you haven't had, you know.
My track record with guests recently is, like, you, Augie, and Willie Mac show.
Yeah, but he's had more than 900 podcast episodes.
How many of them were with guests, though? Like, how many guests? Like, what's the percentage?
Let's just say at least 100, right? I don't know exactly.
I mean, I don't want to sound accidentally racist, or maybe I'm ignorant here, but aren't most... Well, I know now there's a lot more black content creators coming up, but, like... I was about to say, aren't most creators not black, but I guess that would make sense, because there's more races than just two, but...
Yeah,
I don't know. Forget what I said, that was retarded, but...
No, that wasn't retarded. I mean, it's a lower percentage of the people in the US.
Yeah, like, I feel like it could genuinely just be coincidence. Like, I'm not willing to say, and I genuinely don't think that, like, Ethan is actively avoiding black creators. Like, I don't think if there's a black creator he wants to talk to on the show, he's like, no, I'm not having him on because he's black.
I disagree.
Like, I don't think that's...
I think he would...
I really don't think that happens.
He would bring on... He's the type of person to bring on a black person to show people he's not racist. That's what I think.
Could somewhat maybe see that as a possibility, but I don't think, like if there's a really interesting creator he wants to talk to for what they did, and they happen to be black, I don't think he's gonna not invite them to the podcast because they are black.
I honestly, because are you seeing my screen right now?
No, I'm looking at the game. Oh. But I see that you're scrolling.
Bro,
through,
look at how low the list has to go before you get to
but a lot of these are with Trisha Paytas too. So
yeah,
that, like,
but it's low, you know, like it's.
Yeah, I'm not saying it isn't low, but I don't think he's ever, like, denied someone coming on a podcast because they're black.
Well, that would be something that happened more so behind the scenes versus.
Yeah, it's a guess, but I genuinely don't. Well, I don't know. I mean, if he was racist in 2019, I guess it could be a possibility. He definitely wouldn't say it out loud, though. If he said that to Hila, like, hey, I don't want to have this guy on the podcast because he's black, like, Hila would fucking rip him a new one. Because I don't think Hila is racist at all, and you can clearly tell that by the way she was reacting to his joke in 2019 too. So.
Yeah, I mean, but you gotta just act. At a certain point, I think one thing that people don't realize about YouTubers is they're basically actors. They're not like most YouTubers that you talk to in person. They don't act the exact, or really any person. If you talk to anyone in person versus on a video, they're gonna be different, right?
Yeah.
So when the cameras are on and the mics are on, things are not 100% the same. So,
what about with me, dude? Expose me now. Am I fake? Or am I real, dude?
I think anyone is quote unquote.
Yeah, I
fake.
know there's always gonna be like a bit of a difference.
Yeah,
obviously.
So
I'm a lot more, I would say, like, I guess, shy and less talkative in person, I would assume.
No, I don't think so.
I don't really know.
I don't think so.
I don't actively try to be different in real life, though. Whereas, like, all these other people, like Ethan and Hila, like, I do agree that they're intentionally acting different on camera than off, and they make more of a conscious effort. And I do to an extent on videos too. Like, there's some stuff I'd say in a private setting that I wouldn't say public, but it's very, like, minor. I feel like the gap between my content creator self and my real self is not as big as, like, say, Ethan Klein.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think,
and I don't think you're you know, the way you act in public versus private is really that different at all.
Yeah, but I'm also not, like, I have no interest in ever being, like, an influencer. Like,
you do because you're making videos. Like, the stuff you'd say in videos that you would never say in public, or maybe, or in real life, right?
Not really, because I don't really have a lot of, like, like, if I was, like, some alt-right dude, then I would say yeah, but, like, you know, I feel like most of the opinions I have, I'd be more than happy to say them if it made sense for me to express that.
Well,
opinion.
I mean, not really the opinions themselves, but like the way you say them too. Like, you're in content creator mode, you're in presentation mode, you're not gonna act the same way on a YouTube video as you are at, like, your grandma's anniversary's dinner or whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's true, that's true. So yeah, I mean, I think YouTubers in general are actors, and I think a lot of people don't realize how good they can get over time at hiding certain qualities about themselves. I mean, look at Sneeko. He literally just became an entirely different person because he had years of experience of acting.
Or you could try to act and be bad at it and have a complete flip like Tipster, where he tries to change everything and be an actor, but he's just bad at it. So
well, that guy's just bad at life. I mean,
he's just an L, dude. He's just a walking L, dude.
That guy is literally the definition of a walking L.
If he could walk at a brisk pace.
So like, I don't think he's like a fair, you know, people should probably wish Tipster were acting, you know? But if you compare, I'm talking about more so like I Show Speed. Or like,
yeah, I just wanted to get a dig at Tipster, honestly.
Of course, you have to. With that guy's track record.
I have to.
Why do all the hot ones not like dick?
Dude, that fucking Tom video that he released was so great.
To a 17-year-old? To a 17-year-old?
He's so stupid, bro.
It's so... Yo, I thought that was like one of the funniest things I've ever heard. When I found out that... Because I heard the diss track first. Then I saw the tweet. Last night.
Yeah, because Tom gave us a preview of the track before the video ever came out.
Yeah, and it was fire, by the way. They killed it.
It was fucking great. The music video was really good, too.
Bro, Brandon Buckingham? Dude. Holy shit, bro.
He popped off.
Bro,
dude, the lyrics were really good, too.
Bro, he had, like, 2 lines, and he made the song.
Well, they were really good 2 lines, but I think all of the lines that Tom gave were good, too.
Yeah, but Brandon, bro...
I think the whole song was just, like, fucking fire as fuck. Like, every single
line. I
was
agree,
great.
but I think Brandon stole the show with his 5 seconds, honestly. Like,
I think he did a really good job, and I'm not gonna take that away from him, but I didn't think he, like, necessarily stole the show. Like, after I watched that diss track, I'm not like, damn, Brandon Buckingham was definitely the best part. I think all of the whole thing was great, but
so
I also hate Tipster, so I'm like really biased and just love the whole thing regardless. This is not me bringing Brandon down, by the way. It's me just saying it's me bringing Tom up. Like, give Tom more credit. Like,
so you're being racist against Brandon?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I just thought Brandon's was so good to the point where...
It was really good.
Bro, hold on. We gotta play it, bro. We gotta play it.
Yeah, for sure.
You see my screen? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Fuck, this fucking weirdo with 2 channels. He's on stream. Bro, it has 155K.
Hell yeah, dude.
In less than a day.
Fucking great. Yeah, everyone was talking about it on Twitter, and for good reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold up. Did he actually try and fuck Jalen?
No, but he, I don't know if he's horny posted or flirted with Jalen.
He definitely has. He definitely has. Bro,
he definitely likes Jalen.
So what do you think? What do you think the psychology behind Tipster's like horny posting? What do you think that is? Like, does he genuinely think he's gonna get laid off Twitter?
No, I just think he craves the female attention. Like, it's not necessarily... He wants everything that's sexual, that isn't like sex itself, right? Like I don't think he would actually cheat on his wife or whatever, like physically, like with his cock or whatever, but like, or even like, but like, yeah, I think he just craves that attention. And I'm not gonna speculate on why, because that gets into speculating on his marriage, and I feel like that's a little weird and over the line. But like, my honest guess is probably that like some of the aspects of his marriage are lacking in that regard, and he wants to fill them through Discord, or he's just addicted to those aspects and wants even more sexual attention on top of his wife. It's one of the two, I think.
But does it actually work? Does it actually work?
Well, one time his friend, one of his friends who has an OnlyFans, sent him a preview to review her content before she posted it, where she's naked. So he got nudes out of it.
After years of work, he got nudes from one OnlyFans girl?
Yeah, and I'm sure, I don't think he gets nudes from the other girls, but I'm sure, like, there's just some satisfaction he has in just calling them, like, a hot mommy, and them not, like, blocking him after. Like, I feel like that's enough for him.
Yeah,
like, as long as he can be flirty with them and not get, like, blocked, like, that's enough.
Have you seen that thing he does where he follows the girl and then unfollows them?
Yeah.
Bro, that shit is so weird. You know, he did that to Brantley.
He did, and I don't get why. I honestly don't get why. Like, I know, I guess, like, the logic behind it is like, oh, if you unfollow them and follow them, you'll get their attention, and then they'll follow you, and you can DM them. But, like, can't you know that would make the person mad? Like, if you want them to mutually follow you, just follow them, and then, like, wait until they have a reason to follow you. Don't, like, force it. You know? Like, I really don't, like... Maybe he's just stupid, but... I really don't get, like, the logic behind it fully.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just seems like such a weird way to, like...
Try and get
female attention. Like, maybe, like... I don't know, dude. I really don't know. I'm kind of baffled by that one, if I'm gonna be real.
I got nothing good either. I love the camera switch, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to, like... I've been fucking up with these controls this whole time. Everybody watching probably wants to, like... kill themselves looking at...
Oh, you're doing inverted?
I guess I was. I don't know. I just set to that. I think I had my, like, sisters play this game, and they changed it, and then I got confused.
I don't even know.
I also forgot for the longest time which button it was to even go into first person, so I wasn't doing it, which is what you need to do in this boss fight, so I've been, like, stuck on it for, like, a while because I'm just doing it without the first person camera. Because you can't see him fly high up in the air without the camera.
Ah. Yeah, let's get to Brandon's part. Bro, Brandon.
It was so good.
Brandon has an N-word fast, bro. I heard that verse, and with the music video where he makes like a 5-second cameo, and bro, I literally messaged Tom and I was like, Brandon has an N-word pass. Like,
nice.
Bro, I don't know, man. He's so like good at YouTube. Like, it's honestly
Tom?
No, Brandon. Well, Tom too. But Brandon, I mean, he just seems like, I don't know. He just seems like such a good dude. Like, I don't know.
It's entertaining, I guess,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But like, also when I've seen him on like live streams and shit, like he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's pretty chill. I'm a fan of him, although he unfollowed me on Twitter, so...
God damn. What a fake ass bitch.
Fuck that guy, you know?
Yeah, never mind. Never
Besides
mind.
that. I like how people put so much importance on Twitter follows, like, they will like someone has a pedophile accusation. I'll hear them out, whatever. They unfollow you or block you on Twitter. Okay, fuck that guy now. He's definitely guilty. Like, that's how people are. Like, unfollowing on Twitter and even blocking is like a huge offense to people. I kind of play into that too a little bit.
Do they give you a notification when you?
No.
Oh, so you have to manually check.
Yeah, I have to check, dude. Or I just notice it, I guess. Dude, I put the controls back, and now I can't do the uninverted controls either. I don't know what's wrong with me, dude. I can play this. I've played this game so many times.
Yeah, I'm not. Back to the Twitter thing. I'm not much of a social media enjoyer. Like I don't like Twitter and shit or like Instagram. I don't like it.
I don't know. I like it decently enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I would be addicted or not. I've just used social media so much that I don't know how reliant I am on it. I think I could like not use Twitter and be okay, but I do enjoy social media quite a bit.
Well, your job is going on Twitter, so for you it's different.
I guess, but even like before I did Twitterversus, I enjoyed Twitter a lot, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I guess Twitter might have been different back then. I don't know. What aspects of it do you not like, specifically?
Well, for me, fundamentally, communicating with people through text is the worst thing in the entire world. Especially like if you're trying to have like a serious conversation or something.
Oh yeah. Like when I interact with someone on Twitter, I don't consider it like, I consider it a Twitter conversation, not a real conversation. In DMs, it's a little bit more one-on-one, but even then I consider it more kind of like an email exchange, if you know what I mean. Like something closer to that. But, I don't dislike it because of it. Like the interactions I have on social media are just like little like comments here and there. It's not like deep conversations. It's like someone posts something and I respond with one little thing and then that's it. Like, I agree that having full-blown conversations on Twitter is cancer.
Well, I don't think so like I think your Twitter post here, Tipster, you have a wife, why are you liking horny posts from other people? I think that's a valid tweet, right? Because that can be communicated, and you're showing the evidence. Yeah, that can be communicated through text, but like, for example, this other tweet, unironically, some of the best YouTubers are new up-and-coming gaming channels with under 1,000 subs. This would have been like a great thing to say to someone you know, and then you show them those YouTubers. You know?
For sure.
But because it's over text, or you could have been sarcastic here, and I didn't know.
Well, I said unironically, so I feel like that takes out the sarcastic aspect.
Or maybe it was meta-irony.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, so it's just like certain things, they just cannot be communicated through social media, and I'm just not a fan. I wouldn't, like, earlier today I texted you, you think we'll be good for 1 or later, and you said probably later. Like, that's fine to have over text, because it's a factual thing. But I'm not gonna, like, discuss gambling with you, or debate gambling over Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's just, like, such a waste of time. Because the quantity of... You can't communicate enough.
So I do think social media is cancerous if you use it as a replacement for conversation. Like, if you're only talking to people on Twitter, like Jalen or something like that, and using it in that way, social media is cancerous. Or even using it like Tipster. All of Tipster's social life is on Discord and Twitter now. It's fucking ridiculous. And it's always been that way, I guess. So I think if you use social media in that way, it's pretty cancerous. But if you use it as like a supplement to your social life, and it shouldn't really even be called social media, because it's not like meaningful social interactions. It's more of just like, hi, how are you? It's kind of like the conversations you have when you maybe meet up with extended family and you don't know them too well and you're catching up and you're like, oh, so how's the weather or something like that. It's like, it's very shallow conversations. No, you're never gonna get a meaningful, deep conversation that ever on Twitter.
Yeah, I agree. I think,
and it's why I always say, like, it's another reason why I'm so critical of Tipster and like other people who use social media and like use the internet to like define their opinions, or even people who follow like, I don't know, Nick Fuentes, or get really into this political pipeline or whatever. If you're using text on the internet to redefine your core beliefs, I think that's dangerous and harmful because of how limited that type of communication is. Like, for example, I'm a Christian and I'm pro-trans, and those, I will never be convinced by someone to not be those things via Twitter. Like, that just... But someone like Tipster will. Like, he literally stopped being Christian, was a Christian for multiple decades, had like his cross necklace in all his videos, and even mentioned Christianity to me in private more than I ever mentioned my Christianity to anybody. And then all of a sudden, because he's like friends with Keffels now, he's completely denounced Christianity, which I just feel like is completely insane, right? Like, not that he denounced Christianity or had a new point of view, but because he formulated that point of view through online discourse and social media.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are easy to influence, and I think that definitely helps a lot with that, with what you're describing. Like, I think Tipster and Sneeko too are like great examples of people that would be susceptible to having their lives changed by like one tweet or like.
But I feel like, sorry to interrupt.
No, you did.
Yeah, so like, I feel like this problem with social media, I guess Tipster's an exception, but like it only really happens with like young people who grow up with the internet, which is why I kind of feel bad for the current generation, because they're growing up with social media maybe primarily being their main form of socialization. But like I feel like majority, and maybe I'm completely off base with this, and it's just the people I know and the people around me that make me think it's the majority. But I think the majority of people who use social media are using it casually and only posting like a couple times a day, maybe once a day, maybe a couple times a week, and just using it as like a little distraction to play around with while they're waiting for something on their phone, rather than like actively engaging with it like their main primary form of socialization. Like, you mentioned how you don't like Instagram, but I feel like most people who use Instagram, like most casual people who aren't like content creators, just post like photos that they like as an album to highlight their life, and like maybe make a post like once a week or once a month, and you know, that's about it. And I feel like people use the other social medias in a similar way. You know, Twitter is talking, so maybe they use it a little more frequently, but they're still using it as like, I'm only gonna log on, look at the app like once a day, and like engaging with it for a couple hours like I would like a mobile video game, and then log off. But I don't know, maybe it is more of the Jaylens and Tipsters and Sneekos. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, I think the average person doesn't have time to like do all that shit, to be fair. But that doesn't discount the fact that there are a lot of people that kind of like become these sort of extremists from the political indoctrination in which they hang out on that specific side of the internet.
Yeah. I don't know if that's social media's fault more so than like the people who utilize it in that way, though. Like, I don't know, I like social media, but definitely it can be, I agree that it can be like misused, and it can be cancer in that way, for sure.
I mean, my main problem with like Twitter is like, I can say like the guy who made my Subway sandwich is like a reasonable guy. I could tweet that out and someone would be like, fuck Subway. Subway is a mass corporation who kills people and they murder animals. And it's like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like,
true.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's
yeah,
like,
it is cancer. You're right. It is cancer. And my response would kind of just be like, just block them. But those people come up all the time. You're right. It is fucking cancer. But there's also aspects I like about it too. So it's like, I don't know.
You're also
famous. Yeah, it is completely like
it's
especially
different
when you get a whole community after me. Like right now, I have the whole lolly community after me because I said lolly's pedophilia.
Which it literally is.
All, like, which it is. And now, like, all these fucking pedos are going after me, like, these anime, like, pedos who say they aren't pedos, but they are going after me on Twitter, and, you know, it was happening it happens more so when I talk about like legit issues, which is why I think using social media as like just a little thing to fuck around with, like cat images or like things you like or whatever, is way better than having in-depth discussions. Because if you talk about anything that's like important, even to any extent, like, I don't know, like even something simple as like gay rights, you're gonna have like some fucking crazy person come in and be like, oh, blah blah blah, and then like it's gonna snowball because all of the, you know, people that are in that niche community are like, all the anti-gays are gonna like, all the homophobes are gonna come out, and like, even though it's such a niche community, they're all gonna like latch onto you, and it's just, yeah. Social media is not good for long-term discussion at all. I do agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think you can have like a serious discussion. Plus, it's hard to. I mean, I'm not a fan of communication through text with people I don't know at all. Like, I can text you because I know you. But, like, if I don't know you, like, if you message me on Discord, like, I still don't know you. You know, like, and yeah, I can get to know you, but I just don't think that's a good way to, like, finding, like, new Discord group chats through, like, Twitter. It just doesn't seem like a very effective. Again, it's different if you're making money off of it. Like, that's completely different, but I'm talking about just from the consumer's perspective.
I think it can be useful in some scenarios, but it can also be harmful. Like, one of my best friend groups, we met, like, online through...
But you also...
Well, we did have the mutual thing of being content creators, I guess.
Yeah, and it's... You and I are completely different from, like, the average person I'm talking about, because we make money off of social media. But, like, imagine having to sit through people, literal pedophiles, telling you you're weird for saying lolly means you're a pedophile.
Well, I've made friends with people online and they were making money off it, but that all those friends are from like years and years ago when I also wasn't making money off it. And I've also found friend groups through like playing video games. Like I'd play League of Legends, and then, you know, I'd talk to them through there, and we'd like,
at a certain point though, you get to know those people. Yeah. So then it's worth like talking to them through text, because then you know them eventually, even though you might not have met them and stuff. Like, you know their personality and shit.
Yeah.
Versus like someone reading people calling you weird, lollies calling you weird for free. Like that, I can't imagine doing, because it's like,
oh yeah.
You know, they're wrong. You know, you're not the weird one in that case scenario, I promise you. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
But then, because you see it in such high quantities, you might think, like, I'm sure there was a second there where you thought, shit, are they right? Am I wrong?
Not really with that particular topic, but there's definitely been times where I felt like kind of gaslit and like kind of questioned myself a little bit with certain positions that I do strongly believe in.
But the lollies didn't get you.
Yeah, it wasn't the lollies, it's like other stuff. But even that, it's only for like a brief moment. It is hard being gaslit. Like, you gotta be kind of mentally resilient in that case, because naturally, like within the human brain, if a lot of people are saying the same thing, you're gonna question your own stance on it. It's like natural.
Yeah.
But the internet has made it so like all these niche people can like easily gaslight you into thinking something wrong is right. So you definitely got to be mentally resilient in that way to not at least be somewhat susceptible to it. And even I am to an extent, by even having like the thought like, oh, maybe they could be right or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, I think I think around 2016 is when social media has moved to more like algorithms, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like the biggest thing in like the shift that we've seen in social media is algorithmic based content versus...
Yeah, because it like kind of incubates a certain type of audience and stuff, and it makes everything like it kind of divides the internet into these extreme subsections. So let's say I like really like Pikmin or whatever, and I start engaging with Pikmin content, and then the algorithm feeds me more Pikmin content and stuff. Soon, everything I'm going to be seeing is Pikmin, and I'm not going to have any position. I'm going to see everything from a Pikmin fan's view instead of a real person's view. or the average person's view. Which in that case it's fine because it's just like a video game or whatever and you're enjoying it. But if you apply that to like, you know, political beliefs like, oh, I'm anti-abortion generally, so I'm gonna look up stuff about that, and then you just like get that singular opinion shoved to you. It's just like it's like an endless cycle. You don't get the variety of different opinions. You just get like one thing, and it just cements your opinion in that one echo chamber even more so.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think one thing I've started doing recently is like basically I don't watch any political content unless it's like, so recently I saw like Patrick Bet David. You know him or not?
No.
So he's like a right-wing guy, but he debated Cenk. You know Cenk Uyghur?
I've heard his name.
Hassan's uncle.
Yes, I know who he is.
So he's a big left-wing guy. Patrick is a big right-wing guy. That's the only type of political content I'll ever watch. Because like you already know what every political commentator is gonna say before they even open their mouth.
Because they're appealing to the algorithm and the people who want to hear that.
Yeah, no matter what, bro. You know, there's like left-wing takes and right-wing takes on like Epstein, which is just like, or I'm just bringing up a random example, but like, you know, people, there's issues that should be bipartisan, where people have like political perspectives behind it, and that does not make sense at all.
For sure.
Like,
and that's why everybody keeps saying everything's getting so politicized, is because all these bipartisan issues are getting partisan because, I don't know if that's the right term, but it's getting the opposite because of these social media algorithms like funneling people into like one way of thinking, and then the content creators capitalizing on it and like literally molding their opinion around the algorithm. That's what grifters are, literally. So, and I don't really feel like there was that many grifters like before social media became like super algorithm based. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there definitely were grifters, but like not as many. Like it wasn't as common.
I mean, I recently saw like a Steven Crowder video from like 10 years ago. What was it? I'm gonna try and look it up, but from fucking 14 years ago, this guy was still making like right-wing like videos. So I think people like that are like, you know, pretty set in their beliefs, and I get it. But I'm just saying, like, I don't even find that, unless you're like a funny person, I don't see how watching someone who you know what they're gonna say could possibly be entertaining. Like if I turn on Hassan Piker to get his take on the tipster and Keffel's situation, I don't even need to hear him say it, because everything is coming from the left-wing perspective. So he literally goes on Twitter, reads what's popular, and repeats that.
Honestly, I don't even watch a lot of commentary content anymore because of that. Like, when I see, like, even people I like let's say, you know, Augie uploads a video, or I don't know, just somebody uploads a video, like Optimus or something like that. Like, I kind of already know what they're gonna say on the topic before I even watch the video generally.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I think that's a good point. I was thinking more so specifically about politics, but I think that's a point that goes around to everything, basically. You know?
Yeah.
I think in general, when people have the political brain rot, I think that's the #1 mental illness in this world.
Well, that's hyperbolic, because there's obviously mental illnesses that are like insane, like fucking seeing people that aren't there and shit like that. But I get what you're saying.
But because, well, when that happens to you, you know what's gonna happen. Like, not you know, but like, you know, that's not a normal thing. There's people who are politically set in whatever you said was the biggest mental illness, and then there's people like Christian, you know, yeah, I mean,
obviously
but
you're being hyperbolic to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was hyperbolic, but also it's like the because it's become so normalized to act that way. I think people just look past it, when in reality, you know, I'm looking at like Vince Vintage's channel right now. Like this video, how a mall cop exposed a $10.3 million counterfeit empire. If he were like a far left extremist, he'd start talking about some random like, I don't know, defund the police in the middle of the video. That's insane.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
You're cutting out a bit. I can't properly hear you.
Where like, I feel like a lot of those people can't even have a conversation without getting politically involved.
Yeah, he's not responding. Maybe he disconnected.
Bowblax?
Hopefully his recording saves, because I was not recording his audio. Oh my god, that would fucking suck if his
Yo.
thing just... Yo, you still recording and everything?
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't have a backup of your audio, it's just me.
Oh, fuck. Did it cut out?
So. Yeah.
Where did I get cut
So
off?
you were talking about Vince Vintage. If he were a left-wing extremist, he'd talk about defunding the police.
In like the middle of a video about a mall cop.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's an insane thing to watch someone do. But people actually do that type of stuff in their videos, and people don't even think about it twice.
True.
I think that's...
It's just easy to manipulate people. I feel like that's what all of these conversations boil down to. It's like super easy to manipulate people. It's why all these retards have so many subs. You really think the average person, if you fucking sit them down in front of a song, would, like, 50 out of 50 people would say he's entertaining? No, like 1 out of 50 would. I don't know.
You think? Yeah?
that was probably a dumb...
No.
thing to
I mean,
say,
I've
but-
watched his streams. They're garbage. I think with Hassan, it's more so like reputation and bias. Like, oh,
I think
this...
people... Yeah, go ahead.
It's like, oh, this guy's on my team. He must be a good guy.
Yeah.
He's totally
And-
not a grifter.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the ways to get big on social media is by taking advantage of the psychological manipulations between people rather than be genuinely entertaining. Like, if things were popular based on their entertainment value alone, the top streamers would be completely different. It's just that they're the best at knowing how to psychologically get the biggest audience because they're good at marketing their streams. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I'm just saying that, like, people are easily influenced. That's basically my point.
You think though? You really think that?
Yep.
You think
Yeah.
the top streamers aren't entertaining?
I don't really watch all the top streamers. I'm sure they have some entertainment value. I'm not saying they're not completely unentertaining, but I'm saying if people got big solely off of their entertainment value, there would be different, bigger streamers because they're not the most entertaining in the world. Like even when you look at like Mr. Beast, right? He's the biggest content creator in the world. He's not the most entertaining content creator in the world. Is Mr. Beast your favorite YouTuber?
No.
See? So if
Yeah,
it
but
was
his
based on
his videos are made for kids though, or like late teens.
I suppose. And Mr. Beast is pretty entertaining. And
I feel like, yeah, I mean, I feel like his videos are like objectively good. Like,
yeah, I feel like Mr. Beast does deserve to be at the top, but like,
yeah, but with streaming,
there's
there's not.
probably people more entertaining than Mr. Beast who aren't getting a lot of views because they don't know how to gain an audience. Like, I feel like a more valuable skill, entertainment value is really important, but I think a more important skill is learning how to like get an audience to keep watching you, and sometimes that isn't through entertainment strictly. And that's why you see all these like boring people have so many subs, because they're good at getting audiences through different means.
I mean, dude, look at H3, bro. I hate to bring him up again, but dude, I've watched a lot of H3 podcasts to make my videos on him, and I'm not just from an unbiased perspective. Like, his podcast blows, bro. I'm sorry, but his podcast is terrible. Like, and you know, any adult human knows there's so many good podcasts out there, right?
Yeah.
I don't see why anyone would watch. Like, I think what you were talking about earlier, how you said, like, I think a lot of these people wouldn't be famous if they weren't already famous. I think Ethan is the #1 example of that.
I think I think iDubbbz is a better example than Ian because, or Ethan, my bad, they have such similar names, because Ethan makes a lot of content. Like, Ian doesn't make content. But...
Does Ethan's count as content, bro? If you're just talking out of your... Like, what we're doing right now is not that hard. Like,
I mean, it's not hard, but it's still, like, content for people to watch. Like, watching me and you talk over Sunshine is better than watching iDubbbz upload nothing.
Yeah, yeah, but I'd rather watch me and you talk about that and with the Sunshine gameplay than look at fucking Ethan's face for 3 hours.
I guess some people just don't mind Ethan's face. I disagree partly because I think he got a lot of his new audience off of frenemies.
Yeah.
I think the reason all of he's successful now is not strictly because of how he was in the past, like that gave him a foothold, but a lot of that audience already left. I think he's only really stood the test of time because of the frenemies thing.
Yeah, that is true. If you look at his podcast channel, all the most popular videos are frenemies.
Yup.
So, I think that's a good point for sure.
So yeah, like, so if we use the same example that we were using way back in this recording, where it's like, if Ethan was a new YouTuber making content from scratch on a new channel, would he get subs? I think yes, because definitely during the frenemies time. As of right this moment, I think he would get more than Ian, but I don't think he would get like a million. You know, I think he'd have a decently watched podcast because he talks about trending topics that people are interested in, the demographic he's appealing to, which is more of like the female demographic. And I think the perfect example of Ian being popular, making the content he is now, even if he didn't have the H3 brand behind him from the past, is Def Noodles. Def Noodles got big talking about the same type of drama that Ethan talks about, and he didn't have any like previous you know, coming up on YouTube to back him up on people watching him, but people ended up watching him because he covered the topics they wanted to hear. Yeah. Which is what Ethan does. So I do think Ethan would have gained a fan base. Being as big as it is now, I'm not really sure. Probably not, because obviously the fact that he is H3 helps a lot with people even watching him in the first place, but I don't think it's like Ian, where like if Ian did the exact same content he did now as a different person, I don't think anyone's watching Ants on a Log. I still think people, even if it's not as much people, are watching like Ethan talk about Colleen Ballinger.
Yeah.
100%.
Dude,
I don't think people are gonna watch Ants on a Log.
They were at like 50K viewers live.
Yeah. Because it was a big topic for that community, for the community he appeals to. Colleen is the biggest topic right now.
Not for me.
Not for you, no.
The smallest topic.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy shit. Fuck.
Well, if your video, it appeals to a different audience, and I still think it's good that you made that video because then people of that different audience will add to your audience and your audience will grow. I think it's good to have like a mixture of different types of viewers rather than like one specific type of viewer base, even though it's not as profitable, right? Like if I made the same thing over and over, it's more popular. Like for example, these videos are not going to get as many views as Twitterverses because it's not Twitterverses and I'm appealing to a slightly different demographic with them. But I think it's better to upload videos that appeal to multiple different demographics. Not financially and growth-wise, it's actually worse, but I think like long-term, if you're planning on doing YouTube for like 10 plus years or whatever, it's good to have a variety of people so you don't feel like trapped into saying one specific thing to appeal to them, kind of like these political grifters do. So I think for like long-term health, it's better to have a variety of viewers, but
yeah, I don't think politically though, I don't think you would be able to make it doing that. Like I don't even think.
Oh, politically, no, because people would hate you. Everyone would hate if you were doing that based on politics. Everybody would hate you because if you give a right-wing opinion, all your left-wing fans will hate you, and vice versa, and then everyone dislikes you. It's part of the reason why Destiny is so disliked, because he does have kind of like, you know, a typically right-wing opinion on something, or a typically left-wing opinion on something, and he kind of has a mixture of both ideologies a lot of the time. and I think that causes a lot of people to dislike Destiny. So politically, although he is doing kind of well politically, so maybe I'm wrong, but it's definitely easier to have a mixed audience when it's about something like YouTube drama or like something less serious than like politics, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think people should not make non-political issues into political issues, and I think a lot of people do that. And I think Willie, one thing I commend him for is the fact that, you know, I think there's a lot of commentators that'll do what Willie and I do, but they won't go after people that agree with them politically. And that, to me, is ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine being that brainwashed.
Yeah, like playing for a team or whatever.
Because either way, if you're right or left, bro, there's gonna be someone worth... Like, there's no way. People comment on, like, my Pearl video, they'll be like, oh, you're a libtard. And it's like, dude, Pearl does not represent the right. Like, just because someone criticizes Pearl does not mean that they're like, they voted for Biden.
But that's what she makes her audience think, because it's easier to get support when you're on a pre-established team rather than, you know, giving your own unique opinions and building an audience from scratch that way.
Yeah, and I also kind of feel bad for someone like Pearl because, like I said, she gets sucked into this thing called, like, audience capture, where you kind of have to say the things that... And I want to reword that. I don't feel bad for Pearl. She's scared to debate me. But she cannot say anything left-wing or she'll lose, like, thousands of dollars immediately. Which is, like, insane.
Yeah, it is insane, and that's why I was saying, like, it's better to have a variety of opinions so you don't get trapped in that. But for politics, it's, like, almost impossible to do.
Yeah, is there any political commentator that, like, you think is somewhat reasonable towards the other side?
I think Destiny has a mixture of opinions. I don't personally, as a person, I don't like Destiny. But I do think he is successful in having a loyal audience that will listen to him for his thoughts and not because he aligns himself with a particular side. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't watch enough Destiny.
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, one thing I appreciate about Destiny, and Pearl too, is, like, at least they talk to people from the other side.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, because you have people like Hassan who are at the top of the political landscape. And, dude, what the fuck is this?
I'm cleaning his teeth!
Dude.
I got eaten.
What was I saying? Fuck.
That Hassan would not debate someone.
Hassan never talks to anyone that's right-wing. And he's the biggest fucking political commentator in the world. That's insane. Think of like, so you just don't have any discourse with anyone who disagrees with you ever? And God forbid you talk shit about him once in a chat with 50,000 people, he'll start spurging and fucking ban you immediately. Like, dude, it's insane. It's like he creates this fucking echo chamber for himself to, like...
Yeah, but it is the most profitable thing to do, so...
It is, yeah, it is. Being a socialist in a $3 million mansion.
Yeah.
Should I become a socialist?
Maybe, if you want money. Like, we're talking about all these things like it's better to not be them, like, morally or whatever, but financially, like, Hassan is literally more successful than Destiny, who's doing the other approach, so it's like...
Dude, it's crazy. I could literally become Hassan within a week. I could easily, like, just replicate everything he says. Just become, like, a fucking left-wing grifter. Every time someone insults me, I tell them they're using a microaggression on me. So like that.
Yes.
and then every time someone criticizes me in private, just hit him with an N-bomb, like Jalen.
Oh my god.
Isn't that crazy? Someone like Jalen, bro. Jalen makes like decent, like average commentary videos, but they're like insane internally.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Because if you watch their videos, like they're not bad at all. Like I don't think they're good, but they're also not like shit.
That you wouldn't like get the feeling that she says the N-word every day, you know?
Yeah, when she gets criticized once. I don't even know like what the context of that was, but it was so funny.
I don't really even think the context was that extreme. It was just that people were criticizing her, and then she was like, "Fuck you, N-word," and that's it. Like I don't even think
it was
justified.
Jalen must know that that was gonna get clipped. There's no way.
Probably. They're just mentally ill. I can't make any. I can't find a reason behind her actions most of the time.
Was there a specific
So
thing that Jalen did to like become a lolcow? Because they used to get a lot of views.
It was just like the behavior that she's doing, like calling people the N-word or being hypocritical or spurging out or whatever, and just doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So there's like many times. If she made one mistake or two mistakes, like she could move past it, but it's just repeating. So
Yeah, if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, you can't expect to like be uncanceled. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think about like canceling?
I don't know. It's used in such broad ways. Like if EDP gets outed as a pedo, that's him getting canceled. If Jalen says the N-word, that's her getting canceled. Both are bad actions, but obviously one's worse than the other.
Yeah.
So people do occasionally get canceled like undeservedly, but a lot of times it is deserved. I don't know. The whole like. The thing is, the word canceling, even before like it became mainstream to say people are like canceled or whatever in cancel culture, it existed before. Like people just called it like mob mentality or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's always existed. It's just called like accountability or whatever. And like cancel culture is a little different because it's like it's accountability, but it's like a bunch of people giving you accountability, some of which don't have all of the information or whatever. It's just like public backlash, but that's always been a thing. Like if we go back to like, I don't know, like I don't have any specific examples, but if we go back to like celebrity culture in like the 50s or 60s or something, like if a celebrity said something or did something, like they'd get like quote unquote canceled. Like backlash has always existed. So when people ask me like, what do you think about cancel culture? It's just like, it's like asking, like, what do you think about, I don't know, libraries? Like, it exists, it's there, like, it's natural. Like, what do you think about arguments? What do you think about debates? Like, I don't know. It just exists. Like, I'm not, like, whether I'm for it or against it, you have to give me a specific example or scenario, because cancel culture is such a broad thing that I can't
I don't know.
be, like,
I think the definition... The definition is definitely vague because people use it in ways where, I mean, people will like watch one of my videos and be like, "Oh, you're trying to cancel Keemstar." It's like, bro, what does that even mean? Like, what is? I don't know.
Like you're trying to take away his income. You're trying to.
Yeah, I mean,
ruin his reputation.
when I think of cancel, I think of deplatform, but the way people use it commonly, I don't think that's the way that most people are understanding the word. Because if I think of like pure canceled, I think of like maybe Tate when he got killed by like the social media company, or Sneeko. That's what I think of.
So what I think about deplatforming specifically is that I think people, if they do bad things, the social pressure and repercussions is enough. Like Colleen Ballinger, she's a piece of shit, and she deserves all the criticism and hate and stuff, but if all this shit's like publicized, does she really need to lose her YouTube channel on top of that?
Well, I mean, I'd say she deserves to lose. The problem with deplatforming is you know, it's subjective, just like we were talking about earlier. So, like, it's a subjective person making a subjective decision, and that person is likely biased in one way or another. If you were to ask me, out of the three, Sneeko, Tate, and Colleen, I think the number one person out of those three that should have been banned is by far Colleen. Is by far. Because again, if I don't know if you watched my Colleen video, but like, if Tate did all of the shit that Colleen did, he would literally be in jail right now.
Didn't he human traffic though, and wasn't he in jail for that?
But he'd already be in jail right now. Like there wouldn't even be a
like
trial.
It's like what Colleen did is worse than human trafficking.
No. I'm saying if you take Tate and if he had done the thing she did, there's no way he wouldn't be in prison. Like bro, there would be like a group of people like looking for him. Like, bro, look at this shit. Bro, like, what is this? Imagine if this were like Keemstar, and he had an audience full of like 4-year-olds. He's like, these are my panties. And it's like, bro, look at this picture.
Yeah.
Look at this picture, bro. What grown man can get away with this picture?
Okay, you're right. You're 100% right. Yeah,
bro,
for sure.
Tate would be in prison, bro, if this picture of him existed.
Like Colleen is getting... So you're saying Colleen is getting less hate because she's a woman. If she wasn't a woman, she'd be like more...
I think Colleen is getting less hate because my video got shadow banned from the algorithm.
True.
When
Everybody go watch the Colleen Ballinger King of Nothing video, linked in the description of this one.
Yeah, I mean, but I do think part of it is that. Yeah, to be honest. I mean, because if you watch my whole video, it's impossible to look at the full scope here and be like, this person isn't a child predator. Like, look at this tweet, bro. What is this?
I'm coming back today finally, 2022, but coming is spelled as like literal come. I mean, well, that's not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, on top of everything else.
A bunch of kids is the problem. Not if you tweeted this, there would be no problem because you don't have a child audience, you know. But her videos are strictly made for kids. Look at this shit. Dude.
Yeah. Like, I've watched the videos. It's definitely catered towards, like, 8 to 12-year-old girls, I would say.
Yeah, probably.
So, like, not, like, super, super young kids, but, like, preteens, yeah.
This is the worst.
It's not like Coco Melon, but it's...
You want to see another one?
No, but I'm gonna watch it anyway. Yeah, he's getting like the Cheetos out of her. Oh my god, this is just so weird, bro.
Just wait.
Live stage? Why does she like this shit, though?
Look at
What's
him.
the point?
Look at the boy.
Is this satire or an EDP?
Alright, so when he said that, I don't know, man.
Well, the volume's extremely low, so I didn't hear anything he said. He said.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, basically, he kissed her and he says, I love you.
What?
You can cut this out if it's, like, too bad, but I'm pretty sure he's bricked up. I think
Wait,
that's...
bricked up?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Think about it.
Bricked? I don't know what bricked means, but he's definitely...
Hard?
What the fuck is Colleen doing? I don't like this at all.
No. It means hard. He's hard.
Oh, he's hard!
I think that's why he said, I love you, like that. Because if you look at it, like, he gets, like, all excited and shit, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's probably... Yeah. That's, like, IRL grooming on stage, dude. Or I don't know if that's what you would call it, but it's definitely, like... He's, like, unintentionally... She's, like, flirting with a kid.
Yeah.
I guess.
This whole scenario, I showed in my video, but this whole scenario is a simulation of a date.
What? Why is she simulating dates with kids? Huh?
Bro, so again,
Wait, huh?
if this were Keemstar, he'd be in prison. Bro,
Yeah.
look at this.
Dude, wait, who spreads their legs on a date? Like, is this like a Lena the Plug date or like a normal date? Like,
Bro, this is like a 13-year-old girl.
ew.
Fucking that. Look at the shit she's posting on Twitter.
This is insane.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm done. I'm retiring from Colleen Ballinger content. Doesn't work out for me too well. But
Well, yeah. Well, you got everything you wanted to say in that one video. It's not like you need to make another. And who knows? Maybe it'll pop off and you'll get like a whole additional audience on top of your other one. You know? That's how you grow an audience, appeal to all the demographics, I guess.
I try and be as versatile as possible with my topics. If I could pick, I would
like
just
to
do
as well.
scammers. Honestly, because that's what I'm the most passionate about. But I don't want to make my channel niche down into one specific thing.
Yeah, you don't want to turn into like CoffeeZilla, not that his content's bad, but it's like he only can do that one thing now, pretty much.
Yeah, the only reason why I chose commentary, I didn't watch commentary before. I chose to make commentary videos, number one, because it's vague, so I can just talk about whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And then also, I thought a lot of the commentary videos I was watching back then, even though it wasn't a lot, was complete dog shit. Like, honestly, a J is a big reason why I started YouTube.
Yeah.
Because
And you said Optimus as well.
Yeah, because their videos, you know, not exactly the best stuff. So
I agree. A lot of commentary is just like pretty late because anyone can do it. It's just talking. So
yeah, I guess what I don't get is how do those people even get big in the first place? Not those two guys.
Because of the amount of videos they make and the topics they cover. Like for you see Colleen Ballinger topic, you gotta work like a week or two on the video. For them, they seen Colleen Ballinger like trend on, and you gotta wait for the situation to develop to be big enough to even warrant a video. For them, they can make a video on the smallest thing right away. You know?
Yeah, like a lot of them just talk. They don't even do like a script.
Yeah, there's no script. It's just it's like this except solo commentary.
That's
like what
crazy.
we're doing now is basically like their commentary video.
That's crazy. Yeah, so we just made like 50 videos, dude.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna cut this up into like multiple videos. Like this might be like the 7th or 5th video in the series right now that they're watching, even though we're still in the first recording.
That's crazy.
This is great.
But yeah,
But ours isn't shit. Only Optimus. Come on. This isn't bad.
I mean, I think
you would watch this video if it weren't you, and you'd be like, "This is fucking trash."
I mean, I watched all the Willie Mack show ones, so
Yeah. So see,
I thought that those were good. But then also, I think Willie is way more interesting than like Optimus. Plus, I think my main problem with Optimus is like, I don't think he's an unentertaining guy. He's obviously somewhat entertaining to be that big, but I think the biggest issue with him is he'll take a topic that should have taken 8 minutes if I'm being charitable and make it into 25 by just talking in circles.
And it's for the algorithm, too.
Yeah, but he just talks in circles. Like, he'll like just say the same thing over and over and over and over
It's
again.
a part of the reason why I also don't like watching commentary anymore, because I feel like a lot of commentators are like that. Also, I make the content myself, and I used to watch a lot of commentary when I first made the content, but I've been making it for like almost 5 years now or whatever. It's like, I just want to watch other shit, you know? I doubt comedians watch a bunch of other comedians or...
No, I agree. I mean, comedians after 5 years of doing comedy would definitely stop watching more comedy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think like Dave Chappelle gets home from his 40th year doing stand-up comedy sets and watches more comedy. Unless he's like that passionate about it. But I doubt that. Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine it's hard to maintain a certain passion. You know?
It kind of is in some regard, which is why I'm always experimenting like with different things. Like this is not Twitter versus, and I still have a passion to an extent for making Twitter versus, but obviously it's not as much as when I started out. And you know, people always change their passions and what they're into and stuff like that, at least to some degree. So, yeah, it like being a big YouTuber in the short term is one thing. Being big in the long term, like 10 years plus, is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Because you can't do the same content over and over again. Well, you can, and it might work, but you'll just go insane. Unless it's like something you really are passionate about. But in that case scenario, usually the audience interests shift, and then your interests don't shift, and then you fall off anyway. So
that's why
That's
why I don't get the people who say you just want iDubbbz to say the N-word. Like, bro, you're literally saying that we want the guy to work for free. I don't think anyone would expect that from Ian. Spend fucking 4 weeks making a content cop and just not even make $1 off of it? Like, how insane is that? Wouldn't that be a ridiculous demand? Go work for me for free just to not even have ads on your video?
Yeah, it would be insane. Like literally nobody, barely anyone is like, oh, be edgy again, say the N-word again. It's like completely different shit, but, you know.
But yeah, so I mean, you probably see this a lot on Twitter. There's a lot of straw man arguments out there.
Yep. For sure, and they're so annoying because they're so quick and easy to make, and it takes a while. It's a statement that like you can't really like. It's a quip like, oh, you only want them to say the N-word, but the response to that is like more in depth than like that quip is.
Yeah.
So the more people, it just ends up being a waste of time.
Yeah, it's so easy. You can strawman anyone on anything at any time. It's so easy, and
it's easy and effective sometimes.
Yeah, I think even if someone's a good debater, if you're a decent strawmanner, like the average Twitter user, like the people criticizing you for being against Lolly, like
yeah,
how do you defend Lolly without strawmanning?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, like a lot of debates and like debate tactics, what people say is like, oh, good debate tactics, which I disagree. I think they're bad. Is usually straw mans. Like I've debated people like Destiny before, who's considered like one of the best debaters, and even he just like when he gets cornered on a point, he just brings up a straw man, and I'm like, dude, like you just have to bring it back. And a lot of people aren't good at like detecting what's a straw man and kind of get like swept up in the argument that the other person is making, which is why like a lot of people when they review debates or whatever, they're like, oh, he's in control now, he's taking the reins now. It's about like letting them go on with their straw man or not. Because like when I debated Destiny and he started bringing up like, oh, well, you're a drama YouTuber and blah blah blah, I'm like, okay, but that's irrelevant to like the situation at hand, and I tried to like pull him back. But a lot of other people who maybe aren't as equipped to deal with that would just like go down like the argumentation and waste time and like dilute their own argument through the straw man, which sometimes in debate settings is good to do for like a bit to like give them a little bit of leeway. Like sometimes I like to let them like explain their thought process and then like say, okay, but that's all irrelevant, just so like I can get it out and they don't feel like they're pigeonholed it into not saying certain things. But yeah, that is frequently done in debate, and most debates that I see are just people getting into straw man arguments and then arguing about it for literally hours on end, and it's just such a waste, dude. That's why I don't like watching debate streams either, because it just ends up being like 80% straw man arguments, 20% substance, literally. So.
Yeah, I agree. I remember back in the day, I watched this debate between Sam Harris. Do you know who that is?
No.
So I watched this debate from Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris. And bro, all they did was argue on like the definition of a word for like multiple hours.
See, that's stupid.
and it was like the worst thing I've ever. And they're both, you know, they're both like really good at debating and I guess just talking in general. But it was because they were both good at it. It was the most cancerous. If you ever want to lose brain cells, look up like Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris debate. That'll definitely get the job done for you. I think
a lot of people. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, a lot of people think they're kind of like smart for listening to debate content, but honestly, so much of debate content, and the viewers might not realize this, it just ends up being like a waste of time. Like they make arguments that could be said in like 10 minutes, and they do it over the course of like hours. It's just not entertaining. And it's bad and boring. Like I think if you're a person who watches a lot of debate content and like all of the content you watch is like streams and debate, like I love watching Nick Fuentes debate everybody or whatever, and I know that's a lot of my viewers, so they're gonna fucking hate on me for this. But I think it makes you dumber. I think watching debates makes you more retarded.
You have a lot of Nick Fuentes viewers?
No, not Nick Fuentes viewers, but like people who like to watch like debates, like watch Destiny debate for long periods of time, or like stuff like that. I'm talking about the whole genre of content.
Yeah, that's pretty cringe. To like if you think watching like debates makes you like smarter or something, I don't know. It's pretty cringe.
Well,
though.
some people think like it makes them more aware of issues and stuff, and sometimes it can.
And it could.
And in theory, watching debates does make you smarter in theory. But the thing is, most debates just end up being straw man arguments the entire time, and they actually just.
Well, I'm thinking of more so like using debate bro tactics in the context of a normal conversation. Like that would be so cringe, bro. Like imagine if you and I were just talking in the hot tub and I just started like arguing with you about the definition of like the N-word. like it's just like the wackest shit ever, dude.
Like the definition of the N, not even like the discussion we had about the N-word on this video, but like just the definition of the N-word.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Does it really mean black people suck?
That's what I'm saying. So like these people, they debate the most like minute points, and they try and string that together. But I've watched a lot of Destiny debates, a lot.
You're stupid.
Over the past year. I didn't know who Destiny was until this year. But every single one, aside from the fact that I appreciated that I was getting the a different perspective on certain things, aside from that, it's like the dumbest. Like nothing has ever been accomplished by a Sneeko and Destiny debate. They didn't like Sneeko's not a Democrat now, you know. He's still the exact same dude. Still Andrew Tate clone. So I don't know. I just feel like if you're not going into it with the thought process that you might actually be willing to change your mind, which most people aren't, I just don't see a point.
Yeah, and what it ends up becoming is just like a preaching session for both sides, because they're starting to appeal to the audience now more than Sneeko. Like Destiny's using Sneeko to convince the audience of his point, not to convince Sneeko, and vice versa. So they just end up preaching at each other, and it isn't even a conversation. It's just like two people preaching and arguing.
Yeah, I don't blame Hassan for not wanting to engage in debates, but I also know why he does it, and I think that's silly. Because the reason Hassan doesn't debate is not because of what we're saying. He'll definitely cope and like say that, but the reason why is because you can just press him on being a socialist who lives in a $3 million mansion, and there's nothing he can say. There's no valid defense.
Yeah, dude.
He's a grifter, bro, through and through. I think it's easier to be a grifter if you. I think the benefit of debating is that you do get to hear the other side's perspective in the same room.
Yeah.
Like one I watched recently was I think it was Sam Cedar. Oh, David Pakman. David Pakman and Patrick Bet David. I thought that was great. I think Patrick got killed, but you know, I liked hearing a Republican and a Democrat talk to each other.
Yeah.
Face to face. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, so debate content does help break off that echo chamber that we were talking about earlier, and that is a benefit to it. But I would say just don't watch political content at all. I just think all political content sucks mostly. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, it does, because all they do is react to extremists from the other side. So like, if I'm gonna become a left-wing grifter, I'm just gonna find a bunch of videos of like crazy Repubtards, and then I'm gonna like react to them and be like, oh, these people are crazy. And then if I'm like Ben Shapiro, I'm just gonna find like a bunch of SJW-owned videos and react to those and be like, oh, those people are crazy. It's like the weirdest shit, dude. When you really break it down, it's like the easiest job in the world.
Yeah. Nobody is making political content to change the world. It's to capture a certain demographic of people and milk them for money.
I feel bad for the political content creators, though, because there's no way they don't become, like, heavily mentally ill from that content.
Oh, true.
Like, there's no way you can convince me, like, Hassan is, like, a really happy guy. If you just watch one of his streams, he's, like, all pissed and shit all the time. Like, he's, like, testy, is the way I would describe it.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, I don't know, he's not, like, on edge. On edge is the way I would put it. And I don't know.
Yeah, he's not, like, he doesn't seem happy.
Well, because he works so much. He streams like 10 hours a day.
Yeah, it's not even making political content that is necessarily unhealthy. I do agree that it's unhealthy, but I think what's more unhealthy, and I've said this on Twitter before, is people streaming for majority of their waking hours.
Yeah,
it's unhealthy. It's not good.
Fusi just started doing 24-hour live streams. Did you know he's back?
I saw a clip of his IRL live stream, but I didn't know he was streaming that much.
Yo, what is this? Yo.
What?
Dude, why is there an ad? I have ad blocker.
On what, Twitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitch, adblock doesn't work on Twitch.
What?
No.
Holy shit, dude. Alright, everyone go sign up for Kick.
Everybody
right
go to Kick. Everybody. Gambling is better than that.
Dude, what the fuck?
I'd rather be addicted to gambling than fucking watch any more Twitch ads, bro.
What the fuck? This is the first thing I see? Oh. Oh, this guy's crazy, bro. He's streaming pre-recorded clips of him working out.
Well, at least he's taking a break from being live, I guess.
I guess, but it's just not even a stream. It's just.
Well, I mean, if people watch it, then like, fuck
I guess. Yeah. But it's like.
I think that's better than like streaming actually like 12 hours a day. I remember there was like a statistic like one year, I think this was like a couple years ago, where Hassan streamed more than half of the time of the year, including sleeping.
He's so good at money maxing.
Yeah, and I just think like having an audience, because like in stream, when you stream, your audience is mostly gonna agree with you, and it's gonna be like an echo chamber, and that's fine because they like watching you. It's just inevitable. It's a natural part of streaming. But if you're doing it, if you're a huge streamer and you're doing it like 18 hours a day, every fucking day of your life, like that psychologically fucks with you. Like everybody saying you're like a god every day in chat and giving you positive reinforcement. It's like the concept when like a pretty girl gets complimented so much that like when they get complimented on their looks, they don't even like think twice about it. It's like that, but like even more so. Because it's literally like you're getting compliments in chat every fucking waking moment of your life, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the biggest problem with that type of thing that you're saying, I think if you're not gonna pay attention to like negative comments, it's best to not pay attention to positive ones too. You get what I'm saying? Like if
well, I think that only applies if you are like streaming as much as I'm like or as much as Hassan does or XUC does or whatever. Like if I stream like I don't know like 3 hours every week and like all of the chat's positive, like I don't really think that's gonna affect my mental that much.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I think if I were to post a dog shit video, my subs would still comment like, "Yo, this is fire," like you know. So I feel like it's hard to pay attention to one but not the other. I feel like you kind of have to. For me at least, when it comes to like feedback, I try and just stay focused on like what other YouTubers say, because it might be like less of a kind of an echo chamber where you know I already know my fans are gonna like what I'm putting out, but then I know a bunch of H3 fans are gonna come to my video about H3 and tell me it's the worst video ever. So I feel like it's pretty bipolar in my case. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
Like, there's a big difference.
I think and in a way, I think it's good, even though the hate can be over-exaggerated from, like, you know, H3 haters or whatever. I do think there is, like, some value in the extreme, taking the extreme hate, because let's say, like, they're like, oh, you suck because you're against Ethan, and also your audio shit. But then the people who like the video are like, this video is great in every single way. You look at, like, the part where they're like, the audio shit, and you're like, well, maybe I could improve that. So,
yeah, I agree.
There can be some value, even if it's like harsh. You don't take it literally, but if you scale down the extremity, there's maybe
if there's like an audio issue though, you'll get that from like 30 different people, not just.
Yeah,
like,
I know it was a bad example.
No,
I
think it's a good example. But I'm just saying like when I actually had an audio issue at one point, and literally like I got like 20 comments about it. I was like, okay, clearly this is an actual issue, not just like some fan.
Yeah.
Like some Jake Tran fan. But yeah. Yeah, bro, I'm starting to get tired.
Yeah, my voice is tired, and we've been recording for 3 hours, so I think we can just stop here. We don't have to do an official outro, because I'll cut it up and everything, so I'm just gonna stop it and save it here.